Chapter 1838. The All Beginnings Holy Grounds Holy Sun Candidate. Chao Yin sneered and said disdainfully, "How could an insignificant loose cultivator possess a mid-grade, earth-rank artifact? What a fool's dream! Brat, I think you are just randomly raising the price and trying to disrupt the order of the auction. How should you be punished?" At the end of his speech, his voice became sharp and even carried a strong murderous aura. Clearly, he wanted to use this opportunity to suppress Lin Xian. It would be best if the Purple Cloud Palace's people could drive Lin Xian out. It wasn't just Chao Yin. The others also didn't believe that Lin Xian possessed a mid-grade earth-rank artifact. After all, he was just a loose cultivator. Humph! Within the VIP pavilion, Lin Xian sneered as he watched this scene. He was indeed a loose cultivator. However, this didn't mean that he wasn't rich. One had to know that he had killed many kings. Among them were many geniuses from the Holy Lands. Moreover, Lin Xian had obtained their storage rings. Among them, he had obtained several dozen low-grade earth-rank artifacts and a dozen mid-grade earth-rank artifacts. Thus, his wealth was definitely incomparably rich. At this time, Chao Yun spoke to the Void again. "Senior of the Gu family, I request to check this brat's wealth. I suspect that he is randomly raising the price and disrupting the order." Agreed. Agreed. I request the Gu family to check this brat's wealth. After Chao Yin, voices rang out one after another. Clearly, these people didn't believe that Lin Xian possessed a mid-grade earth-rank artifact. As these voices rang out, the ancient cultivator on the crystal auction stage frowned slightly. He had a good impression of Lin Xian and wanted to recruit him. However, given the current situation, he had no choice but to check Lin Xian's wealth. Otherwise, the other great families and powers would be dissatisfied. Thus, the ancient cultivator said in a clear voice, "Young master, if it is convenient, why don't you show it to us?" Upon hearing this, Lin Xian didn't say anything. He took out a mid-grade earth-rank artifact from the black earth and raised his hand. Buzz! The void trembled. Then an exquisite pagoda appeared in the main hall. It was 7 stories tall and emitted a resplendent radiance. Profound yellow qi descended from it. The fluctuations of this aura shocked everyone present. What? It really is a mid-grade artifact. He actually has it. Everyone looked up at the sky in shock. Many people's eyes were burning with desire, and they wanted to snatch it. However, they only dared to think about it. They didn't dare to make a move here. Otherwise, the powerhouses of the Gu clan would kill them mercilessly. However, many of them decided that once they left the Purple Cloud Palace, they would definitely meet him. That was because the other party was too mysterious. He actually had such a treasure in his hands. Therefore, many experts had their eyes on Lin Xian. The 1,000 lightning Saint Sun, the reverence Moon Saintess, and the 4 symbols Saint Sun frowned. This scene was indeed beyond their expectations. Chao Yun's face was filled with shock and disbelief. He crazily said, "Impossible! How could this brat have a mid-grade, earth-step treasure? I suspect that this is fake." Humph! However, at this moment, the ancient cultivator on the crystal auction stage let out a cold snort and coldly said, "Young Master Chao Yin, I hope you won't disturb the order of the auction." This voice was extremely cold, and it seemed to contain the might of an almighty being. They surged towards Chao Yin. Boom! Chao Yun's body trembled, and a trace of fear appeared in his eyes. He didn't dare to say anything because he knew that if he did, the Gu clan would be angry. His expression was extremely ugly. Previously, he had doubted the other party and thought that the other party wouldn't take out a mid-grade, earth-step treasure. However, he didn't expect the other party to take it out in the blink of an eye. This was definitely a resounding slap to his face. However, he couldn't retaliate. This made his face burn. It was extremely embarrassing. However, soon he revealed a trace of a cold smile. This time, the other party had taken out a mid-grade Earth Step treasure and embarrassed him. However, this had inadvertently attracted the attention of other powerhouses. Those people would definitely have their eyes on Lin Xian. Humph, brat, you're just a small rogue cultivator. I think there will definitely be people who will have their eyes on you. When the time comes, I'll see how you die. Chao Yun didn't say anything. Instead, a cold smile hung at the corner of his mouth. Sure enough, on the other side, Lu Mingyue, who was in the VIP room, was also somewhat worried. Won't we attract the attention of other powerhouses by being so high profile? It won't be good if someone makes a move. Don't worry. With my speed, even a mighty figure might not be able to catch up, unless a peerless mighty figure makes a move. However, do you think a peerless mighty figure will make a move for a mid-grade Earth Step treasure? That's obviously impossible. In fact, Lin Xian had already thought about all of this. His heavenly dragon's 8 steps had improved a lot. Now, his speed could compete with a mighty figure. Therefore, even if he was chased by a mighty figure, he could still leave calmly. Soon, Lin Xian put away the Linglong treasure pagoda. The hall fell into silence, because now Lin Xian's price was the highest. At this time on the crystal auction stage, Guxiu clapped and laughed. Someone has already bid a mid-grade Earth Step treasure. Then, is there anyone else who wants to increase the price? The ordinary kings were silent. They could only look up at this price. However, a few saints and experts snorted. Although this price was somewhat out of their expectations, they would definitely increase the price, because they also had mid-grade Earth Step treasures. Sure enough, in the next moment, the 10,000 Lightning Saint Sun made a bid. 1 mid-grade Earth Step treasure, plus 2 low-grade Earth Step treasures. After the 10,000 Lightning Saint Sun, the 4-symbol Saint Sun and the Reverence Moon Saintess also bid mid-grade Earth Step treasures, plus a few low-grade treasures. The price was getting higher and higher. Now, other than the saints, only the elders and experts of the major sects and forces were bidding. The other kings could only watch from the sidelines. Among them, the 10,000 Lightning Saint Sun was going all out because he was determined to get the innate purple Thunderstone. But at this time, Lin Xian made another bid. 2 mid-grade Earth Step treasures. What? 2? Hearing this, everyone's scalp went numb. Their eyes widened as if they couldn't believe their ears. The few saints almost spat out a mouthful of blood. They were about to go mad with anger because the price they had bid was a mid-grade artifact and a few low-grade artifacts. Who would directly bid 2 mid-grade treasures? Were mid-grade Earth Step treasures cabbages? Many people even suspected that Lin Xian was raising the price again. This time, Lin Xian didn't hesitate and directly bid another mid-grade Earth Step treasure. It was a long silver spear that emitted a terrifying aura. It was extremely sharp, as if it could pierce through the void. F***CK. Everyone went crazy as they stared fixedly at the sky. Moreover, many experts' eyes were like lightning, locking onto Lin Xian's VIP pavilion. They realized that the other party could actually take out 2 mid-grade Earth Step treasures. Chapter 1839. This was too incredible. At this moment, many people had their eyes on Lin Xian. Compared to the innate purple Thunderstone, they felt that Lin Xian was easier to deal with. However, the 10,000 Lightning Saint Sun's face darkened. He had already surpassed the Reverence Moon Saintess and the 4-symbol Saint Sun. In his opinion, the innate purple Thunderstone was already his. However, he didn't expect that Lin Xian would appear again. Moreover, he directly raised the price to 2 mid-grade artifacts. This drove him crazy. Damn it! How can this kid have so many treasures? Wasn't he just a rogue cultivator? The 10,000 Lightning Saint Sun's face darkened as he gritted his teeth. To be honest, he now suspected that Lin Xian was a genius secretly cultivated by some holy ground. Otherwise, he couldn't be so rich. Chao Yun's face also darkened. He said in a low voice, "Brother Lei, why don't we give up and let this kid get the innate purple thunder stone? Then, when we leave the purple cloud palace, we can kill him and take his treasures." Hearing this, the 10,000 lightning Saint Sun was tempted. This was indeed a good idea, because this way he could get the innate purple thunderstone and save a lot of treasures. However, he soon shook his head. Because Lin Xian was so high-profile now, he was afraid that he would be targeted by more than 1 or 2 people. If other experts made a move and something happened, they would lose the innate purple thunderstone. The 10,000 lightning Saint Sun wouldn't be able to accept it. Therefore, the 10,000 lightning Saint Sun planned to fight for it. After all, 2 mid-grade Earth rank artifacts was still within an acceptable price. Humph! I don't believe that I can compete with a rogue cultivator in terms of wealth. As a Saint Sun, he was extremely rich. Therefore, he could also afford 2 mid-grade Earth rank artifacts. And this time he decided to pay a high price so that everyone could only look up to him and couldn't fight back. Otherwise, if this continued, the final price would be ridiculously high. Therefore, the 10,000 lightning Saint Sun said in a deep voice, 2 mid-grade Earth rank artifacts and an ancient herb. Another bid. Hearing this, everyone was shocked again and then began to discuss. Ancient herb? Everyone was puzzled. What kind of ancient medicine could actually compare to a mid-grade Earth step treasure? Upon hearing this, even the ancient cultivators on the crystal auction platform were stunned. In the next moment, he asked in a low voice, "What ancient medicine is this?" There were many types of ancient medicines. They were of different ages, types, and effects. Naturally, their prices would be different as well. Therefore, the ancient cultivators had to first determine what kind of ancient medicine the 10,000 Thunder Saint was talking about. The others also pricked up their ears and listened carefully because they were also very curious. Meanwhile, the Saint Child proudly said, "This ancient medicine was cut out from a stone. After the final appraisal, it should be the root of the ancient 1,000 Buddha flower." What? The ancient medicine that was cut out? Hearing this, everyone was shocked. They knew how to cut stones. Those stones were incomparably mysterious. Some of them could produce divine crystals, and of course, there were some that could produce ancient medicines. However, the probability of finding an ancient medicine was much lower. Who would have thought that the 10,000 Thunder Saint would have such an ancient medicine in his possession? Although it was only a root and not complete, its value absolutely surpassed that of a medium-grade Earth step treasure. This 10,000 Thunder Saint child is really generous, Yeah, it seems like he is determined to get the innate purple thunderstone. Of course, the innate purple thunderstone not only contains innate will, but also purple divine lightning. This thing is very suitable for the 10,000 Thunder Saint child. A discussion broke out. Obviously, in everyone's opinion, the innate purple thunderstone must belong to the 10,000 Thunder Saint child. Sure enough, at this moment, the Reverence Moon Saintess and the 4 symbols Saint Child's expression turned solemn, because this price was beyond their ability to bear. Even if they had the ancient medicine in their possession, they would not take it out. Soon, the 2 of them gave up. Not only them, but other experts and elders also shook their heads and gave up. Even the ancient cultivators on the crystal auction platform had a solemn expression, because he did not expect that the other party would take out an ancient medicine to exchange. This was really a pleasant surprise. In the VIP room, Lu Minghua frowned. What should we do? Damn that 10,000 Thunder Saint child. He is crazy enough to take out an ancient medicine to exchange. Why don't we give up? After leaving the Purple Cloud Palace, we can rob him directly. It seemed like Lu Minghua was really anxious. She was even willing to rob a saint child. Lin Xian shook his head. Don't worry, it's just an ancient medicine. What's the big deal? Moreover, it's a remnant root. Originally, he wanted to compete with a number of mid-grade Earth rank artifacts. But he actually wants to compete with spiritual herbs? He really doesn't know what's good for him. Indeed, the number of spiritual herbs in Lin Xian's hands was more than the number of mid-grade Earth rank artifacts. After all, he was an alchemist, and he had a lot of spiritual herbs in his hands. Moreover, he had also obtained a lot of non-precious spiritual herbs in the oblique moon world. Therefore, he was not anxious at all. Everyone outside fell silent. The 10,000 Thunder Saint Child raised his chin proudly and prepared to receive the innate purple thunderstone. But at this time a lazy voice sounded. "It's just a remnant ancient medicine. What's the big deal? I offer 2 mid-grade Earth rank artifacts and a 3,000-year-old ancient medicine." This voice naturally belonged to Lin Xian. The others were stunned when they heard this because they did not expect Lin Xian to make another bid. There's really a good show to watch. On the other side, the Reverend's Moon Saintess' lips curled up slightly. The 4 Symbols Saint Child leaned back in his rattan chair, enjoying the show while sipping his wine. The other experts were also paying attention. Although they would not bid anymore, it did not stop them from watching the show. Chow Yun sneered after hearing this. "Kid, I think water has entered your brain. We're offering an ancient medicine, incomparably precious. You actually took out a 3,000-year-old spiritual herb? What an idiot. How can this thing be compared with us?" Indeed, a 3,000-year-old spiritual herb was precious, but it was nothing compared to an ancient medicine. Not only Chow Yun, but the others were also stunned. They thought that Lin Xian was too childish this time. Humph! As expected of a rogue cultivator ignorant, the 10,000 Thunder Saint Child sneered. He could not even tell which spiritual herb was precious. What an idiot! Hearing these mocking words, Lin Xian was very indifferent. He said in a deep voice, "What do you know? Although my spiritual herb is only 3,000-year-old, its effect is surprisingly good." "What effect? Why don't you tell us?" Chow Yun sneered because he did not believe that a 3,000-year-old spiritual herb could be compared with the ancient medicine in their hands. Chapter 1840. What effect does it have? Why don't you tell us about it? Chow Yun sneered because he really did not believe that a 3,000-year-old spirit medicine could compare to the ancient medicine in their hands. "Didn't your face hurt from the slap just now?" Hearing Chow Yun hooting again, Lin Xian sneered. "Since you want to be slapped in the face again, then I'll fulfill your wish. This old medicine of mine can increase a martial artist's lifespan." "What? Increase a martial artist's lifespan?" Hearing this, everyone was dumbfounded. The next moment, everyone was in an uproar, each and every one of them extremely shocked. Spirit medicines had myriad effects. Some could heal injuries, some could increase skill. But there was also a type that could increase a martial artist's lifespan. But this kind of spirit medicine was seriously too rare. Rumor had it that every great emperor had a stock of immortal divine medicine that could allow the great emperor to live another lifetime. That kind of immortal divine medicine could increase lifespan. It was just that that kind of divine medicine was very rare. There were only a few stocks in tens of millions of years. However, apart from the immortal divine medicine, there were also some spirit medicines that had the effect of increasing lifespan. It was just that the increase was not that exaggerated. This kind of spirit medicine could also be encountered, but not sought. Even if someone had it, they would not take it out and would keep it for themselves to consume. Everyone did not expect that they could actually see this kind of divine medicine here. Inside the VIP pavilion, Lu Mingyue also opened her eyes wide. "What are you doing? Are you crazy? Why would you take out such a divine medicine?" To be honest, she was too shocked. One had to know that what a martial artist pursued in the end was power and lifespan, especially for those ancient fossil-level martial artists who were about to die. Even if they could live for another day, To them, they would fight for it with everything they had. This kind of medicine could be said to be incomparably precious. However, Lu Mingyue could not understand why Lin Xian would take it out. Could it be that he did not know the preciousness of this medicine? Lin Xian shrugged. Don't worry. Although this thing is a treasure in your eyes, it's just SOSO in front of me. Just like that. The corners of Lu Mingyue's mouth twitched. She even suspected that Lin Xian had a problem with his brain. However, Lin Xian was not wrong. He still had a few stalks of medicine that could increase lifespan like this in his hands. Moreover, the stalk that he took out was also a defective product. He didn't like it at all. That was his foundation. Although he couldn't compare to those saints in terms of quantity, perhaps no one could compare to him in terms of quality. Outside the VIP pavilion, everyone was stunned. The reverence, moon saintess, and the four divine symbols holy sons were bewildered. If it was really a spiritual herb that could increase one's lifespan, it would be too precious. Chow Yun's face also darkened. However, he still instinctively refused to believe it, because he really didn't believe that the other party would be willing to take out such a precious spiritual medicine. However, this time, before he could ridicule and ask the Gu family to examine it, the Gu family suddenly stopped him. Gu Xiao from the Gu clan said in a deep voice, "Young master, this matter is too important. Can you let us examine it first?" To be honest, he was too shocked. When the other party had taken out 2 mid-grade Earth Step artifacts, it had already shocked him. Who would have thought that the other party would take out a spirit herb that could increase one's lifespan? Sure, feel free to check. Lin Xian nodded calmly. He wasn't faking it, so naturally he wasn't afraid of being checked. In the next moment, Gu Xiao transmitted his voice. Not long after, 2 old figures appeared in the void. One was an old man, and the other was an old lady. Both of them had a head full of white hair. Their figures were like ghosts as they arrived at Lin Xian's VIP pavilion in an instant. "Young master, are you sure you have a spiritual medicine that can increase one's lifespan? Let us take a look." These 2 old men were the elders of the Gu clan. When they heard the news, they were also extremely excited. Logically speaking, the Gu clan also had this kind of spiritual medicine. However, no one would complain about having more. Lin Xian nodded. With a wave of his sleeve, a palm-sized spiritual medicine appeared in his hand. Although this spiritual medicine was the size of a palm, there were many flaws on it. Seeing this scene, the 2 elders' expressions turned solemn. It was actually an incomplete spiritual medicine. No wonder the other party was willing to auction it. However, if it could really increase one's lifespan, even if it was incomplete, it was still extremely precious. To be honest, Lin Xian still had a complete spiritual medicine in his hands. However, he wouldn't take it out. The 2 elders of the Gu clan received the spiritual medicine and examined it carefully. Subsequently, the light in their eyes became brighter and brighter. It seems to be the 5 spirits' divine flower. The 2 of them were extremely shocked. They realized that this was indeed a spiritual medicine that could increase one's lifespan. "Young master, may I ask where you obtained this spiritual medicine?" The 2 elders asked excitedly. They were very curious. How could a young man have such a precious medicine? "I obtained it in the Tilted Moon mystic world," Lin Xian said indifferently. "At that time, it grew beside the nest of a peerless beast. I spent a lot of effort to obtain it." The Tilted Moon mystic world. Hearing this, the 2 elders were surprised. They knew about the Tilted Moon mystic world. Previously, it had caused an uproar. However, they didn't expect this spiritual medicine to come from the Tilted Moon mystic world. After hearing this news, the 2 of them sighed and were somewhat disappointed. This was because the Tilted Moon mystic world had already closed. If they wanted to enter again, it would probably be a few hundred years later. After returning the spiritual medicine, the 2 elders left the VIP pavilion. In the next moment, they appeared above the main hall. Then the elders said in a deep voice, "That's right. After our appraisal, it should be the 5 spirits' divine flower. It is indeed a divine medicine that can increase one's lifespan. Moreover, it is around 3,000 years old." Boom! Hearing this, everyone was in an uproar. Some even went crazy, because they really didn't expect this young man to have such a medicine. At this moment, the Reverence Moon Saintess, the 4 symbols' holy sons, and the other elders all looked solemn. The 1,000 lightning holy son's face darkened. He was so angry that he was about to vomit blood, because he didn't expect this young man to really take out a spiritual medicine that could increase one's lifespan. This was definitely more precious than his ancient medicine. Damn brat! The 1,000 lightning holy son's eyes were filled with killing intent. On the other side, Chao Yin was even more confused. This time, he was slapped in the face by the young man again. He couldn't accept this. "Damn brat, you can be arrogant as much as you want now. Wait until the auction is over. I'll show you." Chao Yin gritted his teeth. He swore that after the auction was over, he would kill the young man. After Lin Xian took out a spiritual medicine that could increase one's lifespan, there was no suspense in this auction. In the end, the innate purple thunderstone belonged to Lin Xian. At this point, Lu Mingyue heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian was also excited. Because of this innate purple thunderstone, the next step of his plan could be carried out. Lin Xian didn't care about the rest of the auction. He only needed to wait for the auction to end and go backstage to exchange for the innate purple thunderstone. In another private room, the 1,000 lightning holy son's face darkened. He didn't expect that he would fail in this auction. "Brother Lei, what should we do? Should we kill him and rob him?" Chapter 1841. In another VIP pavilion, the 1,000 Thunder Saints' face darkened. He didn't expect that he would fail this auction. "Brother Lei, what should we do? Should we kill him and rob him?" Beside him, Chao Yin was also gnashing his teeth. As a saint candidate, he had noble status, but today he had been slapped in the face twice. This was unbearable. He wanted nothing more than to kill the other party to relieve the hatred in his heart. The 1,000 Thunder Saint narrowed his eyes. "Don't you have another battle with him? How about this? After the auction is over, you and he will go to the battle area on the first floor and use the connate purple thunderstone as the bet. No matter how powerful that kid is, I'm afraid he's no match for you. If you help me win the connate purple thunderstone, I'll find a way to make you the real saint candidate." "What? Are you telling the truth?" Hearing this, Chao Yun was tempted. He couldn't help but be tempted. He was only a saint candidate, and there was still a big difference between him and a real saint. Not to mention the strength. Just the resources and the support of the sect alone were many times worse than that of the other side. One had to know that the saints of the various sacred grounds were trained according to the future sect leader of the sacred ground. That status was extremely honorable. It could be said that as long as he became a saint, he would definitely be the top existence in the eastern wilderness in the future. Therefore, how could Chao Yin not be tempted? He hurriedly said, "Don't worry, Brother Lei. I'll definitely help you win the connate purple thunderstone and kill that kid with my own hands." Next, a few more items were auctioned in the main hall. Finally, the auction ended smoothly. Many treasures appeared in this auction, some of which were extremely precious. As for those people who were photographed, they all had smiles on their faces and were feeling very satisfied. Those who didn't get it were a little disappointed, but they were also excited, because today they had witnessed a lot of shocking wealth. This kind of scene was not usually seen. Lin Xian and Lu Mingyue also left the VIP pavilion and went backstage on the 5th floor. They exchanged 2 mid-grade Earth rank artifacts and a 3,000-year-old old herb for the connate purple thunderstone. When Lin Xian put the connate purple thunderstone into the black earth, the two of them were completely relieved. Now that they had gotten what they wanted, the next step was to find a place to let the Crimson Dragon complete the formation. Then they could set up a killing trap and kill the Saint of All Beginnings. Guxiu also took out 2 purple tokens with a smile and gave them to Lin Xian and Lu Mingyue. This is the Purple Cloud Palace's Purple Cloud token. You're a top VIP. If you come here in the future, you can enjoy a 50% discount with this badge. You can choose any of the VIP rooms on the 5th floor as your resting place. Thank you, Senior. Lin Xian was overjoyed as he took the Violet Cloud Command Medallion. With this item, the cost of coming to the Purple Cloud Palace in the future would be much cheaper. After that, Lin Xian and Lu Mingyue quickly left. They knew that they were too high profile this time, and many experts had their eyes on them. The two of them decided that after leaving the Purple Cloud Palace, they would find a safe place to hide for a while and lie low. However, just as they left the backstage, they were stopped by someone. They were the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun and Chao Yin. "Get out of my way." Lin Xian's face darkened. He didn't have time to mess around with them. "Boy, you're courting death." Chao Yin was furious. Although he had been slapped in the face twice, he was still a candidate saint. The other party was just a small rogue cultivator. How dare he scold him? He was truly audacious. The Saint of All Thunder's face was even gloomier. He was a real saint with a noble status. How dare the other party tell him to get out of the way? He was really courting death. The kings around were about to leave, but they all stopped when they saw the scene. They knew that a good show was about to begin. Many of them sneered because they were afraid that Lin Xian would run away and they wouldn't be able to catch him. They didn't expect that someone would stop them, which was exactly what they wanted. "Boy, are you so arrogant? But do you think you can leave so easily after getting the Khanate Purple Spirit Stone? How naive." Chao Yun's cold eyes were like sharp swords as he stared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted. "Why? Are you going to fight here? Aren't you afraid of breaking the rules of the Purple Cloud Palace and being slapped to death by the Almighty?" To be honest, he really didn't understand where the other party got his confidence and arrogance from. He was just a candidate saint. What was there to be arrogant about? "Don't worry, I won't fight here, and I won't break the rules of the Purple Cloud Palace." Chao Yun sneered. "So, don't expect the Almighty to deal with me. I said before that after the auction is over, we'll go to the battle area on the 1st floor and fight to the death. I'll let you know the consequences of offending me. Do you think I'll go just because you say so?" Lin Xian sneered. He didn't have the time to fight with the other party now. "Boy, you can choose not to go. But I can guarantee that as long as you leave the Purple Cloud Palace, you'll be hunted down by the 1,000 Thunder Sacred Land and the Holy Land of All Beginnings." At this moment, the Saint of All Thunder spoke. Hearing this, everyone's scalp went numb. They knew that the Saint of All Thunder was really angry. Lu Mingyue was also anxious. The current situation was very unfavorable for them. So, in the next moment, she looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was calm. The more dangerous the situation was, the calmer he was. This was his instinct and also the excellent habit of an expert. He asked in a deep voice, "Do you really want to fight with me?" "Of course. What boy are you afraid?" Chao Yin snorted. "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." Lin Xian shook his head. "Let's go to the battle area on the 1st floor." Hearing this, Chao Yin smiled. The Saint of All Thunder also narrowed his eyes. They had achieved their goal. The surrounding warriors were in an uproar. They were shocked. They didn't expect Lin Xian to agree to this battle. Where did his confidence come from? He dared to fight with Chao Yin? Didn't he know that Chao Yin was a candidate saint? His strength was much more terrifying than Liang Zhang's. There will be a good show to watch this time. The Reverence Moon Saintess was also interested. The 4 Symbols Saint snorted. He really doesn't know what's good for him. Because, in his opinion, There was no suspense in this battle. Chow Yun would definitely win. A group of people set off toward the battle area in a mighty manner. The first floor of the main hall was somewhat deserted. That was because the experts, geniuses, and saints had all left. The remaining people did not have much interest. But suddenly, they saw a large group of experts heading toward the first floor, and it seemed that they were heading toward the battle area. Suddenly, everyone was energized. What's going on? Are there people fighting again? Everyone started to gather in front of them. Chapter 1842. During this time, news of the auction on the 5th floor spread. Soon, all of the kings in the hall on the 1st floor knew about it. When they learned that Lin Xian had slapped the Holy Sun candidate's face twice, suppressed the 10,000 lightning Saint Sun, and obtained the innate purple lightning stone, they were all extremely shocked. This was simply a heaven-defying miracle. Moreover, the other party was going to fight the Holy Sun candidate of the All Beginnings Holy Ground, Chow Yun. This was absolutely earth-shattering news. Therefore, all the kings on the 1st floor headed toward the battle zone. They couldn't miss such a wonderful battle. Chow Yun strode forward. He was the first to arrive at the battle zone. Then he spent a large amount of money to purchase a battle quota. Afterward, he turned around and looked at Lin Xian with a provocative expression. Lin Xian leisurely walked forward and took out the purple cloud token he had just obtained. Immediately, a middle-aged man appeared in the void and said respectfully, "You are the most honored guest of our Purple Cloud Palace. Therefore, you will enjoy a 50% discount on all your purchases in the Purple Cloud Palace." What? 50% discount? Hearing this, everyone's eyes widened in disbelief. Even the 10,000 lightning Saint Sun, the Reverence Moon Saintess, and the others frowned. After all, even they didn't receive such treatment. Chow Yun was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. Originally, he had a provocative expression, but now his face had turned completely black. One must know that he had spent the full price to purchase the battle quota. However, the other party had taken out a token, and he could use it at half price. This was definitely a huge gap. He hadn't expected that he would lose to the other party so much in terms of momentum before the battle even started. This made Chow Yun extremely angry. The kings in the surroundings cried out in alarm. They didn't even dare to believe it. They knew about the purple jade token. It was something that only the highest-ranked people in the Purple Cloud Palace could possess. There were very few such quotas. Even the 10,000 Lightning Saint Sun and the others didn't possess one. However, they hadn't expected that Lin Xian would actually possess one. One could imagine how much importance the Purple Cloud Palace attached to Lin Xian. Who exactly is this brat? How could he be so important to the Gu family? He even had a purple cloud token. This was truly surprising. Why do I feel that this match will also be surprising? No way. Are you saying that this kid will win? That's impossible. His opponent is the Holy Sun candidate of the All Beginnings Holy Ground. That's an extremely powerful existence. I'm afraid that only the true chosen can defeat it. Everyone was talking about it. Initially, they didn't think highly of Lin and Xian, but now they had changed their minds. Because they realized that they were unable to predict the outcome of this battle. A battle with an unpredictable outcome was the most exciting battle, because no one knew what would happen next. Lin Xian paid half the price for the battle slot and then went to the battle area. He looked at the other party and said indifferently, "What, can we start now?" "Humph." Chow Yun snorted coldly, gnashing his teeth in anger. However, he had not forgotten about the important matter. Therefore, in the next moment, he said coldly, "The competition can be carried out sooner or later. But boy, do you dare to make a bet with me?" Bet? Bet on what? If you bet on this battle, you will definitely lose. If you lose, hand over the innate purple thunderstone in your hand. Do you dare? You still want to bet? Seeing this, the surrounding people became excited. They discovered that Chow Yun's ultimate goal seemed to be the innate purple thunderstone. "Boy, you don't have any guts, right? You don't dare." Chow Yun sneered, appearing extremely arrogant. Lin Xian shook his head. There was no need to provoke him. "In this world, there is nothing that I don't dare to do. However, if you want me to use the innate purple thunderstone as a bet, that will depend on whether or not you can take out an equivalent treasure. If you can't take out a treasure of equal value to the innate purple thunderstone, I have no interest in gambling with you." Lin Xian wasn't afraid of gambling. What he was most afraid of was Chow Yun trying to gain something without risking anything. Chow Yun snorted coldly. "Don't worry. As a Holy Sun candidate, I am someone with status. How could I act shamelessly?" After saying that, Chow Yun took out a jade bottle. There are 3 drops of 10,000-year-old spiritual liquid inside. Each drop is incomparably precious. It can even bring seriously injured people on the verge of death back to life. I'm using it as a bet. It should be enough to qualify, right? 10,000-year-old spiritual liquid. Everyone was shocked, drawing a cold breath. This was absolutely good stuff, especially when one was seriously injured in battle. Dripping a drop, one could immediately be brimming with vitality. One could say that it was an extra life. Everyone did not expect that Chow Yun actually used such a precious thing as a bet. Truly extravagant. Even Lin Xian narrowed his eyes too. This thing was also extremely tempting to him, because this was similarly effective for him. It was just that he did not expect that Chow Yun was actually willing to take out such a treasure. How could Lin Xian know that in Chow Yun's view, the other party was very confident in this battle? Therefore, no matter what treasure he took out, he would not lose. Hence, that was why Chow Yun dared to take out the 10,000-year-old spiritual liquid that he had treasured for a long time. "Okay, since that's the case, I promise you." Lin Xian nodded. Both sides' bets had been confirmed. Next was to watch the battle. In the next moment, Chow Yun snorted coldly. His gaze was like lightning, and a terrifying aura rose from his body. Like a blade light, it pressed down on everyone until they could not breathe. His wild hair fluttered in the wind. His entire person was like a peerless demon, emitting a terrifying aura. "Kid, go to hell!" Chow Yun sneered and quickly charged towards Lin Xian. But in the next moment, his eyes suddenly swayed, and the surrounding scene actually disappeared. It was no longer the resplendent hall, but another world. It was incomparably sharp. Sword chi that filled the sky surged over like waves. Sword chi soared into the sky one after another, each one causing one's heart to palpitate. This was no longer the Purple Cloud Palace, but a Sword Dao world. That's right, this was indeed a Sword Dao world. Moreover, it was Lin Xian's dragon, Sword Domain. Facing Chow Yun, Lin Xian directly displayed the dragon's Sword Domain, enveloping the other party. That was why the scene from before had occurred. The dragon's Sword Domain was incomparably terrifying. It transformed into a Sword Dao world, completely enveloping Chow Yun. All the hair on Chow Yun's body stood up. He felt an extremely sharp aura surrounding him. There was even the sound of sword chi fighting, causing his heart to palpitate. "Ah, get lost." Chow Yun was furious. He knew that he was enveloped by the other party's domain. Therefore, in the next moment, he roared. He roared towards the sky, his terrifying voice piercing through the clouds. Boom, boom, boom. The entire void trembled rapidly, but it was unable to shake the dragon Sword Domain. However, he was also very decisive. He directly displayed his own domain to resist the dragon Sword Domain. Around his body, light shone brightly, erupting with terrifying chaotic light. It was like an overwhelming energy flow that swept in all directions. Chapter 1843. Boom, boom, boom. The chaotic light collided with the sword chi in the sky, creating an earth-shattering sound. The terrifying energy tore through the void, turning it into nothingness. After displaying the king domain, Chao Yun's aura rose again. A terrifying light burst out from his eyes, turning into chaotic light that swept in all directions. Not only that, he waved his fists and bombarded the area in front of him, wanting to leave the domain. An intense collision erupted, and the surrounding kings exclaimed. This battle was simply too intense. There was such a commotion right from the start. It was obvious that both of them were extremely powerful existences. However, the Thousand Thunder Saint, the Four Symbols Saint, the Reverence Moon Saintess, and the other experts looked solemn. This was because they could see the real battle situation through the light in the sky. The real battle situation was that Chao Yun was being suppressed. From the beginning of the battle, he was being suppressed. This really surprised them. One had to know that Chao Yun was a saint candidate, and his strength was only slightly weaker than theirs. It could be said that he was an extremely powerful existence. Even so, he was still unable to defeat Lin Xian. He was even being suppressed by the other party. This was really surprising. Get out of my way! Chao Yun waved his fists crazily and displayed a terrifying martial art. The chaotic light and chaotic qi in the sky tumbled, forming a terrifying light that tore through the void. In the next moment, his figure swayed, and he escaped through the sword qi in the sky. Humph! Chao Yun snorted and heaved a sigh of relief, just as he was about to counterattack. However, the scene around him quickly turned into sword qi in the sky. He was once again enveloped by the dragon sword spiritual domain. The sword qi swept across, shattering the void. The terrifying sword light enveloped everything and quickly slashed toward Chao Yun. The dragon sword spiritual domain was too terrifying. Every sword qi could destroy the heavens and earth. One could imagine its power. Facing the saint candidate, Lin Xian did not hold back at all. He frantically activated the dragon sword spiritual domain. Chao Yun's expression was extremely ugly. He had just escaped, but he did not expect to return to the other party's domain. He could not believe it. Impossible. This kid is just a 5-star king, an ordinary rogue, cultivator. How can he be so powerful? Sensing the terrifying sword qi in the surroundings, Chao Yun is about to go crazy. This king's domain was simply too terrifying. It was even more terrifying than his own domain. It was hard to imagine that this was the domain of a rogue cultivator. Flame of primal chaos, come out! Chao Yun's face was gloomy. He activated his king's domain. Suddenly, red flames flashed around him and swept out in all directions. Boom! Boom! For a time, these primal chaos flames set off a sea of fire that filled the sky, releasing a terrifying aura that swept out in all directions, resisting the sword light that filled the sky. Roar! Not only that, this sea of flames condensed into a fire qilin, roaring endlessly, releasing the power of wind and thunder. Pum! The fire qilin was extremely powerful. It waved its terrifying flaming beast claw and slapped away a lot of sword qi. Without a doubt, this was a powerful ability. At this moment, Chao Yun did not hesitate to use it at all costs. Its power was so strong that even the sword qi was sent flying. After temporarily slapping away the surrounding sword qi, Chao Yun's face was terrifyingly gloomy. His gaze was like that of a wild beast as he swept his gaze in all directions, searching for Lin Xian. Boom! In the next moment, he stood on the fire qilin and formed a seal with his palm. Immediately, the fire qilin spat out a fireball that was like the sun. It rushed forward and forcefully blasted away countless sword qi. This caused a vacuum to appear in front of him. This time, he finally saw Lin Xian's direction clearly. Kid, go to hell! Chao Yun's hair fluttered in the wind, and his entire body was extremely cold. He rode the fire qilin and ran forward crazily. At the same time, flames that filled the sky condensed in his hand, forming a long spear that was as red as fire. The long spear was incomparably dazzling and carried a monstrous heat. He waved it gently, sending out shocking long rainbows that pierced through the void. Accompanying it was a terrifying killing intent that shook the heavens and the earth. This was a mid-grade Earth-rank artifact, Chao Yun's natal weapon. At this moment, he held it in his hand and swept it in all directions, charging towards Lin Xian. Boom! Seeing that the other party was coming, Lin Xian snorted coldly and did not dodge. He pulled out the 9 darkness demon sword from the void and slashed it down with all his might. Clang! The terrifying sword light was invincible. It swept in all directions and collided with the fiery red spear that filled the sky. Suddenly, the entire void trembled rapidly, and a big explosion occurred. In the end, terrifying black holes were formed one after another. What? How can his combat strength be so powerful? After the exchange, Chao Yun was shocked. He originally thought that the reason why he was suppressed now was because the other party had suddenly attacked and caught him off guard. That was why he was suppressed. However, he was still unable to suppress the other party in a head-on confrontation. The other party's terrifying sword Qi even numbed his arm and caused the spiritual power in his body to surge. This was definitely not something that an ordinary person or even a sneak attack could do. In other words, the other party was definitely powerful, at least not weaker than him. In fact, the other party was even stronger than him. However, he had bet 3 drops of 10,000 years spiritual liquid and his promise to the 1,000 Thunder Sage. Therefore, he could not fail. Otherwise, he would lose everything. Roar! Chao Yun rode the fire qilin and rushed forward like lightning. The long spear in his hand opened and closed, piercing through the void. Not only that, the fire qilin opened its bloody mouth and spat out flames that filled the front. The terrifying energy surged, causing the faces of the surrounding spectators to change drastically. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly. Countless black flames condensed on the tip of his sword and then turned into a hell flame phoenix to fight against the fire qilin. The 9 darkness demonic sword swept across, and a terrifying black light slashed forward. Boom! Boom! The spear radiance that filled the sky was cut in half, and the terrifying fireball was split in half from the middle. No energy was able to affect Lin Xian, and it was destroyed by the sword light halfway through its journey. Chaotic divine spear! However, Chao Yun let out a furious roar. His entire body suddenly erupted, like a bolt of lightning. He rapidly pierced forward. Red light flashed all over the sky, and mysterious runes appeared in the sky, dyeing the entire space blood red. This spear was extremely powerful. It pierced through the Black Phoenix and the sword Qi that filled the sky and quickly arrived in front of Lin Xian. Go to hell! Arriving in front of Lin Xian, Chao Yun's face was ferocious. He waved his long spear and stabbed down fiercely. The surrounding people exclaimed. Was the battle about to end? Lu Mingyue's heart was also in her mouth. She did not expect Chao Yun to be able to arrive in front of Lin Xian. Moreover, the terrifying spear made her feel a sense of trepidation. The 1,000 Thunder Sage also narrowed his eyes and raised the corner of his mouth with a victorious smile. Sure enough, as he expected, Chao Yun's strength far exceeded his opponent's. There was absolutely no problem in winning this battle. At that time, he would be able to get the innate purple spirit stone. Chapter 1844. Lin Xian did not show any fear in the face of the terrifying spear. In fact, the corners of his mouth even curled into a sneer. Although this spear was powerful, it could not do anything to him. In the next moment, an endless violent aura emerged from his left hand and turned into a black dragon head. Then, Lin Xian stretched out his hand and grabbed in front of him. Boom! His palm seemed to have turned into a real dragon as a terrifying power surged. Then the black dragon had bit the fire phoenix spear. Clang! 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 A terrifying sound shook the sky. This scene shocked everyone. What? He blocked it? How is this possible? No way he could catch such a terrifying attack. How did this kid do it? A series of exclamations were heard. Evidently, the crowd simply couldn't believe what they were seeing. Chow Yun's pupils constricted as if he had seen a ghost. Originally, he thought that this spear would be enough to pierce through Lin Xian's head, but he did not expect that it would be caught by Lin Xian's hand. You dare to catch it with your bare hands? Get lost! Chow Yun roared crazily. Suddenly, the red light on the fire phoenix spear turned into sharp blades that cut in all directions. Roar! Lin Xian's left hand was like a black dragon as it let out a loud dragon roar and bit the spear tightly, making it impossible for Chow Yun to escape. Not only that, the violent destructive aura on Lin Xian's left hand turned into balls of demonic clouds that quickly surged along the fire phoenix spear. In an instant, it enveloped the fire phoenix spear. Not only the fire phoenix spear, but even Chow Yun's arm was enveloped by this violent, destructive aura. In the next moment, Chow Yun screamed because he could not withstand this violent power at all. Even his entire arm was severely injured by the destructive power of the berserk power. Damn kid, how dare you hurt me? I'm going to kill you. Chow Yun's face was distorted as he was furious to the extreme. He realized that his arm was about to be crippled. As a result, his combat strength was affected. He knew that he could not go on like this. Therefore, in the next moment, he roared and raised his left hand. His hand was filled with a terrifying chaotic light that emitted a terrifying energy. It was unknown what kind of forbidden technique he used. But at this moment, Chow Yun seemed to have been reborn from the ashes. His battle prowess rose rapidly. It had reached an unimaginable height. Boom! In the next moment, he struck out with his palm. Lin Xian frowned, because he didn't expect that the other party's battle prowess could still increase. Therefore, in the next moment, he performed the heavenly dragon's 8 steps and retreated quickly. At the same time, 3 sword god phantoms emerged from his body and charged forward. Among them, 2 sword phantoms appeared on Chow Yun's left and right. They held terrifying sword lights and quickly slashed down. The third shadow was by Lin Xian's side, ready to deal with any danger. Boom! Chow Yun naturally felt the danger coming from his left and right, but he clearly wanted to fight with his life on the line. This was an excellent opportunity, and he could not give it up. Thus, he waved his hand, and 2 simple shields appeared on his body, blocking both sides of his body. At the same time, a fiery red battle armor appeared from his body and completely covered him. From the looks of it, he wanted to take both attacks head-on. As for his left hand, it carried an unparalleled power as it fiercely smashed forward. Bang! Fortunately, Lin Xian's speed was fast enough, and with the sword god phantoms beside him, he managed to dodge the attack. However, the phantom of the sword god in his body was shattered into pieces by this palm strike. Damn it, it's a phantom! Chow Yun's face was extremely ugly after he blasted the phantom away with his palm. He didn't expect that even with the idea of mutual destruction, he couldn't hurt his opponent. He himself was fiercely attacked by the 2 sword god phantoms, so much so that his whole body fell heavily to the ground. Cough, cough! The 2 shields summoned by Chow Yun were cut open, and even the fiery red battle armor on his body had terrifying sword marks. Although it was not cut open, the scene made one's scalp tingle. What kind of sword chi is this? How can it be so terrifying? It's too terrifying. Fortunately, Chow Yun has an earth-grade armor. Otherwise, the 2 sword chi would have completely cut his body open. The surrounding kings discussed animatedly, their faces full of shock. Chow Yun gnashed his teeth in anger. These 2 strands of sword chi had worsened his injuries once again. Behind him, The 1,000 Thunder Saints' eyes were gloomy, because he didn't expect things to turn out like this. Chao Yun was fighting with all his might, but he still couldn't gain the upper hand. This made him very uncertain. Therefore, in the next moment, he quietly sent a voice transmission and secretly gathered his men. Because if Chao Yun failed, then he would have to take action himself and intercept Chao Yun halfway to snatch the Khanate purple thunderstone. Ahead, a great battle broke out. The battle between Lin Xian and Chao Yun was very terrifying. Every attack tore apart heaven and earth. However, after dozens of moves, Chao Yun vomited blood and flew backward. More than half of the bones in his body were broken. He had already suffered extremely serious injuries. Even his entire right arm was crippled. His current combat strength had sharply declined. What? Chao Yun lost. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. They knew that there was no suspense, because until now, Lin Xian had only suffered some minor injuries. There were no major injuries at all. Chao Yun, on the other hand, was seriously injured. If he wasn't treated in time, his cultivation realm would probably fall, and his combat strength would be very low for a long time. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked, because this result was something they had never expected. One had to know that Chao Yun was the holy son of the All Beginnings holy ground. He was very powerful and was only slightly weaker than a true holy son. Therefore, in everyone's opinion, only a true holy son could defeat Chao Yun. Otherwise, no one would be able to defeat Chao Yun. But now Lin Xian had done it. This greatly shocked everyone. Could it be that this brat is already a holy son? Heavens, this is too inconceivable. Although he is only a 5-star king, his combat strength has already reached the holy son level. I see that the demonic sword in his hand is very strange. I estimate it to be a high-grade, earth-step treasure. Perhaps he was only able to defeat Chao Yun by relying on the might of that demonic sword. Discussions rang out one after another. It was clear that everyone was unable to accept this fact for the time being. As for Chao Yun, he was holding his spear and half kneeling on the ground, supporting his body so that he wouldn't fall. His eyes were filled with fear, and his complexion was pale. Holy Sun level, your combat strength has actually reached the Holy Sun level. How is this possible? He didn't dare to believe that an ant that he looked down on would have such a powerful combat strength that far surpassed his own. Lin Xian coldly snorted. This was only the beginning. He had only used 70% of his strength. He hadn't even used his full strength. Of course, he wouldn't tell those people about this. In the next instant, he coldly stared at Chao Yun. Chapter 1845. Of course, he wouldn't tell those people that he was hiding his strength. In the next instant, Lin Xian coldly snorted and stared at Chao Yun with an ice-cold gaze. You win. The 3 drops of 10,000-year spiritual liquid are yours. Chao Yun clenched his teeth with an extremely unresigned expression. But what could he do? He couldn't defeat the other party. If this continued, he would probably be killed by the other party. However, he had already made up his mind. He absolutely couldn't allow such a powerful enemy to grow. Therefore, when he left the battlefield, he would contact the elders and experts of the All Beginnings Holy Land to kill the other party. Since they were already enemies, he couldn't allow the other party to continue growing. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to sleep in the future. When the battle ends, I will naturally obtain my spoils of war. But for now, I have other things to do. Lin Xian walked forward step by step. What are you planning to do? Chao Yun was scared when he saw the other party walking toward him. What am I planning to do? Lin Xian sneered. Naturally, I'm going to deal with you. What? You dare to kill me? Chao Yun was dumbfounded upon hearing this. He didn't dare to imagine that the other party would actually dare to attack him. Wasn't the other party afraid of the All Beginnings Holy Land's revenge? The surrounding kings were also stunned. They didn't dare to believe their eyes. This brat wanted to attack a successor Holy Sun? Was he crazy? Brat, I'm warning you. I'm the successor, holy son of the All Beginnings, Holy Land. If something happens to me, the All Beginnings, Holy Land won't let you off. Chow Yun clenched his teeth and roared. He wanted to use the All Beginnings, Holy Land to intimidate the other party. However, it was clear that he had made the wrong decision this time. Lin Xian didn't fear the All Beginnings, Holy Land at all. One had to know that in a few days, Lin Xian was going to kill the All Beginnings Holy Daughter. That was a true Holy Daughter, not to mention the current Chow Yin, who was merely a successor, Holy Son. Moreover, the other party had repeatedly found fault with him. With Lin Xian's character, he absolutely wouldn't allow such a person to live in this world. Therefore, he didn't say anything. Instead, he tightened his grip on the 9 underworld devil's sword and strode forward. With each step, his killing intent, he became stronger. In the end, he looked like a god of death. Gulp, gulp. Everyone swallowed their saliva because they thought that the other party was just joking. But now, it seemed like Lin Xian was going to be serious. Chow Yun was also afraid. He realized that the other party seemed to be serious, so in the next moment he hurriedly swallowed all the healing pills in his hand. He quickly stood up. Since you want to kill me, I won't let you have it easy either. Even if I die, I will drag you down with me. Chow Yun was like a malicious spirit. As a latecomer saint, his net worth was also very rich. The healing panacea melted in his body and unleashed its powerful medicinal effects, repairing his body. His red hair fluttered in the wind, and his entire body emitted a blazing aura. Qilin arm. Since he knew that he couldn't escape and the other party wanted to kill him, Chow Yun naturally had to risk his life. At this moment, he pushed his strength to the limit. Even if there would be some side effects, he did not care. With a cold shout, the fire Qilin beside him roared angrily. Soon after, the sky was filled with flames. The fire Qilin quickly transformed and fused into Chow Yun's left hand. Boom! The clothes on Chow Yun's left side exploded, and a sturdy arm appeared, surrounded by flames. Moreover, it formed a lifelike Qilin pattern. A violent and monstrous heat wave was emitted from the arm. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He felt the power of a domain from the other party's arm. Obviously, the other party had used some kind of divine ability to combine his king's domain with his arm. In this way, the power would probably be even stronger. After displaying the Qilin arm, Chow Yun was like a god of fire. His right hand held a bright red spear that was as red as fire. Brat, trying to kill me is the biggest mistake you've ever made. Now go to hell. Chow Yun roared. He had used a secret technique to forcefully increase his combat strength, and there was no difference between him and a true saint. The only difference was that after this battle, there would be side effects in his body that would be more difficult to get rid of. But now his combat strength was absolutely terrifying. Buzz! He thrust out his spear, and the fiery red spear turned into a divine rainbow that covered the sky, enveloping the front. The heat wave was unbearable. Even a 6-star king would probably be burned to ashes by this heat wave. Lin Xian snorted as well, and the great dragon sword soul in his body circulated crazily. The dragon sword domain shone beside him. He swung his sword, and a huge sword chi descended from the sky like a mountain. It slashed forward. Qilin arm. Seeing this, Chow Yun roared as he clenched his left hand into a fist and punched out quickly. Roar! This punch illuminated the entire hall in a fiery red color. Then, a fire Qilin rushed out from the fiery light all over the sky. This power made everyone's hair stand on end. Even the 1,000 Thunder Saint Sun, the Reverence Moon Saintess, and the 4 symbols Saint Sun looked solemn. This was because this power was on par with them. It was enough to threaten them. What a terrifying Qilin arm! I didn't expect Chow Yun to have such a divine ability. A few of them looked solemn, and the weaker kings were already kneeling on the ground, their faces pale. Qilin arm. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. He also felt a sense of danger. Let's see if your Qilin arm is stronger, or my black dragon fist is stronger. In the next moment, he clenched his left hand into a fist as well, and a terrifying aura spread out from his body. The shadow of a black dragon hovered above his left arm, looking extremely ferocious, as if it was real. Dragon roaring in the 9 heavens. He punched out, and the terrifying black dragon tore through the void with apocalyptic energy, rushing forward. In the battle area, the void collapsed, and a large black hole and countless cracks appeared. A black dragon moved freely in the middle. Boom! Boom! In the next moment, the black dragon fist and the Qilin arm collided, and a shocking collision occurred. The entire hall was shrouded by the 2 energies. One was as black as ink and exuded a destructive aura. The other was as red as fire, spreading out like a sea of fire. The 2 energies clashed in the air, annihilated each other, and then tore apart. In the end, the entire hall was shrouded in dazzling light, and no one could open their eyes. Not to mention checking the situation in front. In the end, even the Chosens closed their eyes. They waited quietly for the result. Whoosh! Whoosh! What's going on? Everyone craned their necks and looked ahead. Then they were stunned. Chapter 1846. What happened? Everyone craned their necks and looked ahead. Soon after, they were stunned. Lin Xian was standing in front of them. Beside him, there was a huge divine dragon phantom protecting him, blocking all the attacks. His surroundings were charred black, and deep pits of various sizes had appeared on the hard ground, emitting a pungent, burnt smell. Those were the remains of the Qilin arm. On the other side, Chao Yun's eyes were lifeless as he stood there calmly. There was a terrifying dragon claw on his body that had directly hollowed out his heart. Countless huge cracks had appeared on the ground, nearly overturning the entire palace. He died? Chao Yun actually died. No one dared to believe it. They had never imagined that Chao Yun would be unable to reverse the situation even after using such a powerful Qilin arm. He had even been killed. What exactly was that black fist? Even a powerful divine ability like the Qilin arm was unable to resist it. Everyone was extremely shocked. Ta! 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 The divine dragon protecting Lin Xian's body gradually disappeared as he walked forward. If one looked carefully, they would discover that every step he took was in the air. It could be said that he did not touch the ground at all. That was because there was still a terrifying heat remaining on the ground. It was left behind by the Qilin arm. It had yet to be extinguished. It could be said that the Qilin arm had given Lin Xian a huge shock. However, it was also a pleasant surprise for him. After all, through the great dragon sword soul and the previous battle, he believed that it would not be long before he could use the great dragon sword soul to imitate the Qilin arm's divine ability. Soon, Lin Xian arrived in front of Chao Yun. With a wave of his hand, he took away the bottle containing the 3 drops of 10,000 years spiritual liquid. In the next instant, he turned around and met up with Lu Mingyue. The 2 of them walked out of the purple cloud palace. As for the others, they were in an uproar. They knew that something big was about to happen. After all, the person who had been killed was a Holy Sun candidate of the All Beginnings Holy Ground. The All Beginnings Holy Ground would definitely not leave the matter at that. They would definitely dispatch powerful experts to kill Lin Xian. Furthermore, Lin Xian not only had the innate purple lightning stone, but he also had the 10,000 years spiritual liquid. These were all rare treasures that would definitely make people jealous. Lin Xian was strong, but he was only a Holy Sun after all. Moreover, there were few of them, so there was bound to be someone who would secretly make a move. Thinking about it, the situation in the northern region would definitely change in the next few days. Sure enough, after seeing Lin Xian and Lu Mingyue leave, the myriad Thunder Saint's face turned gloomy, and killing intent emerged in his eyes. Fortunately, he had secretly gathered people in advance and laid an ambush outside. Otherwise, it would be more troublesome now. I didn't expect this Chao Yin to be such a trash. But since that's the case, I'll kill you myself. The 10,000 Thunder Saint sneered. Apart from him, there were a few other experts in the crowd whose eyes flickered. It was obvious that they were also preparing to make their move. The things that Lin Xian had on him really made people jealous. Whoosh! Whoosh! After exiting the Purple Cloud Palace, Lin Xian got Lu Mingyue to return to the Black Earth while he executed Heavenly Dragon's 8 steps. His speed was extremely fast. In an instant, he disappeared into the void. You want to run? It's not that easy. The 10,000 Thunder Saint and those experts rushed over and sneered. The next moment, their figures also swayed and disappeared into the void. Obviously, they were chasing after Lin Xian. But soon, they came back with gloomy faces because they had lost track of him. Chao Yun's speed was so fast that they didn't expect it at all. His speed had definitely surpassed that of an ordinary king and had even reached the level of an almighty. Damn it! How can this kid be so fast? No wonder he was so high profile before and dared to take out so many treasures. It turns out that all of this was part of his plan. With such a fast speed, even an almighty would not be able to catch up with him easily. Sighs could be heard. Obviously, these experts knew that it was impossible to catch Chao Yin. The 10,000 Thunder Saint's face was also frighteningly dark. He had naturally received the news. Then he gritted his teeth and said, "Damn, that kid, how can he be so fast?" He must have a precious treasure on him or an ancient, rare divine ability. I must find him. The 10,000 Thunder Saint gave the order. He found that Chao Yin was too mysterious. Everything shocked him. It was as if he was pitifully poor compared to the other party. But then the corners of his mouth raised into a ferocious smile. "Kid, let's see where you can escape to. I've already sealed the Purple Cloud City. I don't believe you can escape." Indeed, in order to catch Lin Xian, the 10,000 Thunder Saint had set up countless backup plans. He had shrouded the Purple Cloud City with a formation. As long as Lin Xian appeared, he believed that he would get the news. At that time, he would bring people to catch Chao Yin. "Men," the 10,000 Thunder Saint said in a deep voice. "Yes, sir." Soon, a man in black appeared in front of him. He half knelt on the ground and was very respectful. "Go and communicate with the people of the Gu family and ask them to help me. As long as you catch this thief, I will reward you handsomely." Yes, the black-robed man stood up, and with a flash he disappeared into the void. The 10,000 Thunder Saint sneered. "You dare to play with me? Can you beat the Gu family?" The Gu family's great void technique is famous in the world. The Purple Cloud City was an important place of the Gu family. There must be many disciples of the Gu family here. With their help, I'm not afraid that I can't find you. In the end, the 10,000 Thunder Saint smiled proudly. Not long after, the man in black returned and brought a disciple of the Gu family with him. The 10,000 Thunder Saint and the disciple of the Gu family entered the VIP pavilion again. The two of them discussed for a while and then gathered people to set off. On the other side, Lin Xian left the place as soon as he left the Purple Cloud Palace. He used the Heavenly Dragon's 8 steps and his speed reached the extreme, shaking off a group of pursuers. But soon he frowned, because he found that the entire Purple Cloud Palace was shrouded in a formation. Needless to say, it was done to catch him. "Humph! In that case, I'll hide here first." Lin Xian snorted coldly. "I can take this opportunity to let the Crimson Dragon complete the rest of the formation." So he found a remote place to land, changed his figure and aura, and hid directly. In the Black Earth, the Crimson Dragon had obtained all the materials and was ready to complete the formation. Lu Mingyue was also in seclusion to cultivate, trying to improve her strength again before taking action. After all, the saint of all beginnings was not weaker than her before. Now that she had become the saint, the sacred ground would definitely spare no effort to cultivate her. Her opponent's strength had probably reached a very terrifying level. Therefore, she must do her best to improve her strength. Chapter 1847. At night, the moon was very bright, like a large silver plate hanging high in the night sky. The gentle light sprinkled down, and the earth seemed to be covered with a layer of gauze, white and hazy. Lin Xian was in a dilapidated temple. It was in the outskirts of the city, and there were not many people around. He stood quietly in front of the temple, looking up at the sky. The bright moonlight sprinkled down on his body, forming a layer of gauze. At this moment, Lin Xian's state of mind was unusually calm. The battle during the day was too intense, and he needed some quiet time to take care of his body. At this moment, he had entered an ethereal state, as if he had forgotten everything around him. As for his soul, it was drifting away from his body, appearing high up in the sky and roaming the earth. It was a wonderful feeling, as if Lin Xian had broken away from everything and became an outsider, quietly watching the world. It was not cultivation, but this strange feeling gave Lin Xian a lot of inspiration. He felt that his realm had increased by another level. Just like that, time passed bit by bit. In the latter half of the night, the surroundings were still quiet, but dark clouds appeared covering the moonlight. Buzz! At this moment, the void suddenly trembled, and a sharp light pierced through the void, ruthlessly stabbing towards Lin Xian. This attack was very sudden, and there were no signs before. Moreover, the attack was very fierce and terrifying. The terrifying light seemed to tear everything apart, and its speed was extremely fast, leaving behind afterimages in the sky. Lin Xian withdrew from the ethereal state, then used the heavenly dragon's 8 steps and disappeared on the spot. Boom! In the next moment, a pitch-black spear appeared from the void and ruthlessly nailed into the ground. Instantly, countless cracks appeared on the ground, spreading in all directions. Not only that, the black spear was too terrifying, and there were black flames dancing on it. It spread like the flames of hell, covering the entire space. Fortunately, Lin Xian's speed was fast enough to avoid the spear's body. However, the terrifying flames still made his figure visible. What a terrifying killing intent! Lin Xian frowned. This black spear gave him a very dangerous feeling. To be able to give him such a feeling, it was definitely not an ordinary treasure aura. It should be at least a high-grade Earthstep treasure. This kind of weapon was very rare, and not just anyone could have it. The identity of the person who came must be very special. Sure enough, in the next moment, many people appeared in the surrounding void. Each and every one of them was extremely powerful, like a fiend god. Their cold gazes stared ahead, staring at Lin Xian. The leader of the group was a young man with a handsome face. He wore a lightning robe and had a cold smile on his face. It was the 10,000 Thunder Saint. Brat, you're pretty good at dodging. But so what if he could hide? In the end, I still found him. The 10,000 Thunder Saint said coldly. Then he waved his hand and retrieved the black spear that was stuck in the ground. It really is you. Lin Xian's face darkened as he looked at the scene around him. He had long known that the other party harbored evil intentions and would try to kill him. However, he did not expect that the other party would be able to find him so quickly. It was indeed beyond his expectations. Could it be that he had left behind some flaws? Brat, it seems that you're very confused. No matter how good you are at hiding, can you hide from the Great Void technique? Don't forget that this purple cloud city is the territory of the Gu family. Hearing this, Lin Xian's frown deepened. The Great Void technique? Could it be that the Gu family had made a move? But it shouldn't be. The ancient cultivator had just given him a purple cloud token, indicating that he wanted to rope him in. Why would he send someone to find him and assist the 10,000 Thunder Saint? But soon he figured it out. Because for a large clan of the ancients like the Gu family, its internal factions must be complicated. The ancient cultivator's faction showed that they wanted to rope him in, but other factions might be on the same side as the 10,000 Thunder Saint. So that's how it is. You actually found the Gu family as a helper. It seems that in order to hunt me down, you really put in a lot of effort. Lin Xian said coldly. It's good that you know. The 10,000 Thunder Saint snorted. Brat, quickly hand over the innate purple thunderstone if you know what's good for you. Then obediently surrender and wait for my judgment. Otherwise, I can guarantee that you'll end up very miserably. Surrender and be captured? Hearing this, Lin Xian snorted. Do you really think you can defeat me? Do it if you can. It's not too late to say these words after you've caught me. Humph, you're really stubborn. Brat, who do you think you are? How dare you talk to the saint like that? Reckless fool. It seems that I still need to teach you a lesson, personally. At this moment, a man in green walked out of the crowd in front of him. He looked to be in his 20s. His whole body was extremely strong, and a cold light flickered on his body. A terrifying aura soared into the sky like a sharp sword. Who are you? Quickly tell me your name. If not, then hurry up and get lost. You're not worthy of my attack. Lin Xian shouted coldly, his voice filled with a biting, cold, murderous intent. You're courting death. The man in green roared angrily. He had never been looked down upon like this before. Therefore, when he heard Lin Xian's words, he was also furious. In the next moment, he decisively attacked. With a wave of his arm, streaks of sharp light surged out and turned into a long rainbow in the sky, quickly attacking Lin Xian. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes, and a bright light bloomed in his eyes. He realized that the divine rainbow was a flying knife. It was extremely sharp, and its bright light illuminated the entire space. Not only was the light bright, but the terrifying energy it carried was also shocking. A hidden weapon expert! Lin Xian frowned. He rarely met such a person. The other party had cultivated to the king realm, and his cultivation was as high as a 6-star king. At this moment, each of the hidden weapons he used was extremely terrifying. In the next moment, countless divine red lights completely enveloped Lin Xian. Then, terrifying energy exploded, forming a 5-colored light that enveloped the front. Humph, what expert! You're nothing in front of me. The man in green sneered, looking very proud. However, in the next moment, he was stunned. This was because the 5-colored light in front of him dissipated and the void quickly healed. However, Lin Xian's figure was nowhere to be seen. How is this possible? The man in green could not believe it. The speed of his hidden weapons was extremely fast. Even a 6-star king could not dodge them. Moreover, there were so many of them. Even if the other party could dodge, he would definitely be severely injured. However, there was no blood flowing in the sky in front of him at all. There was also no pungent smell of blood in the void. This meant that the other party was not injured at all. What was going on? The man in green frowned. He realized that things were beyond his expectations. Whoosh! In the next moment, the void fluctuated, and Lin Xian's figure appeared very close to the man in green. I actually came here. Chapter 1848. The man in green was shocked. He did not expect Lin Fan to dodge his attack and come to his side. He had not discovered anything yet. This shocked him so much that even his hair stood on end. Buzz! In the next moment, he hurriedly activated his king's domain to cover his body and form a strong defensive barrier. Many dazzling flying daggers circled in front of him, ready to be launched at any time. Die, brat! The man in green roared crazily as hundreds of flying daggers rushed out in front of him. The terrifying power shattered the entire void. This attack was so terrifying that even a 6-star king would not be able to block it. However, all of this was useless against Lin Xian. Due to Lin Xian's incredible speed, he managed to evade all of the hidden weapons and arrived before the man in green. Boom! In the next moment, the Armageddon Black Dragon fist rushed out and a violent aura spread in all directions. Even the flying daggers and hidden weapons nearby were all shattered. Nothing could stop it. What? Seeing this, the man in green's face changed drastically. He did not expect Lin Fan to be so fast. This time the distance was very close. No one below the Almighty could dodge it. However, Lin Fan had completely dodged it. He was not even hurt by a single flying dagger. This was simply too inconceivable. Moreover, Lin Fan's terrifying fist made the man's hair stand on end. In the next moment, he opened his mouth and spat out a silver shield. It quickly enlarged and blocked his side. Not only that, but a set of green armor appeared on his body. Starlight flickered and formed a radiance that covered the sky, enveloping his body. Boom! However, he had underestimated the Armageddon Black Dragon Fist. This incomparably terrifying fist had a destructive aura. It was as if it could kill even gods and Buddhas. Therefore, in an instant, the silver shield in front of the man in green was shattered into pieces. Boom! After shattering the silver shield, the Armageddon Black Dragon Fist did not stop at all. It turned into a black dragon and roared. In an instant, it enveloped the man in green. Boom! 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 Terrifying vibrations were heard. The radiance that filled the sky with violent power swept out in all directions. The green armor on the man in green was dented. Not only that, the man in green spat out a mouthful of blood and his entire body exploded. What? Kill him with one punch? The kings behind him were all stunned when they saw this scene. They could not believe that such a powerful green-clothed youth was killed by a single punch. What kind of strength was this? Who else? Come at me if you want to fight me one-on-one. Of course, if all of you attack at the same time, then I'll take you on as well. Lin Xian's voice was like thunder, spreading in all directions. He had the heavenly dragon's 8 steps, which was his maximum speed. Therefore, no matter how many people there were, as long as he wanted to leave, no one would be able to stop him. Humph, brat, you're really arrogant. Let me kill you. Right at this moment, another cold shout sounded out. Then, a man in yellow flew over quickly. The surrounding cultivators did not immediately make a move. Instead, they watched this scene with sneers on their faces, because as far as they were concerned, this place had already been surrounded by them, and it was impossible for the other party to escape. Therefore, it was only a matter of time before they made their move. Moreover, they also wanted to see just how strong the other party was. The yellow-clothed youth came to the opposite side of Lin Xian. He was wearing an ancient battle suit, which shone with a cold light. Brat, no matter how strong you are, it's useless in front of my battle suit. The yellow-clothed youth sneered. His black battle suit was not an ordinary treasure, but an extremely powerful defensive treasure. Therefore, although he had seen Lin Xian kill the green-clothed youth, he still dared to stand up at this moment. It was because of the battle suit on his body. It's just a piece of battle suit. Do you really think it can save you? Lin Xian sneered, then attacked again. Raging Dragon rips the sky. He punched out, and the shadow of a black dragon appeared in the sky. It quickly waved its dragon claws, forming a terrifying spatial crack that swept forward. Clang! 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 The spatial crack hit the yellow-clothed youth, producing a metallic sound. Suddenly, the black battle armor on the yellow-clothed young man emitted a dazzling light, forming strange runes that completely covered his body. It fought against the terrifying spatial crack, but it was unharmed. What a powerful battle suit! The surrounding kings were moved when they saw this scene. The yellow-clothed youth raised his head and laughed. Ha ha ha, Brett, did you see that? Your attack is useless in front of me. Now have a taste of my attack. The yellow-clothed youth sneered. Then he pulled out a silver battle axe and slashed it forward. Boom! The axe fell, breaking the void. Not only that, but a huge crescent arc appeared in the sky, accompanied by countless silver lightning bolts. The axe seemed to be able to split the heavens and earth. It was terrifying. Whoosh! Lin Xian used his movement skill again and dodged the shocking axe. He came to a safe place, but he frowned slightly. He had to admit that his opponent's black battlesuit was indeed terrifying. The powerful black destruction dragon did not have any effect on it. This was the first time that Lin Xian had seen it. It was indeed a treasure that tempted him. The next moment he sneered. Since you're here to give me a treasure, I'll accept it. With that, his body swayed and he rushed forward. You're courting death. The yellow-clothed youth was furious. His opponent dared to covet his battle suit. He was courting death. One had to know that with this armor in hand, even if he were to fight against a chosen, he would be able to retreat with ease. He could even escape if he encountered an almighty. That was because the black battlesuit was given to him by an almighty in his family. That terrifying power made him invincible even before the battle began. With such a powerful battlesuit, his opponent dared to fight him in close combat. He was courting death. He must be out of his mind. Brat, since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. The yellow-clothed youth sneered and waved the silver battle axe in his hand, slashing in all directions. He was not afraid of anyone in close combat. Buzz! The next moment, Lin Xian appeared behind the yellow-clothed youth. Then he threw a punch. Boom! 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 A destructive aura surged out and rushed forward. The yellow-clothed youth felt the terrifying power behind him and suddenly turned around. To be honest, he was shocked because his opponent was too fast. However, he was not afraid at all because he knew that his opponent's fist could not hurt him. If his opponent could not break through his defense, it would be futile no matter how fast he was. Therefore, he took the punch head-on and did not dodge at all. The next moment, he was hit by the energy and flew backward. Chapter 1849. However, he was only sent flying backward. There was no injury on his body. Furthermore, the black cloak battle armor had even neutralized the remaining energy waves. The young man in yellow only stopped after he had retreated more than 1,000 meters. Then he turned around to face Lin Xian and laughed. Haha, boy, don't waste your energy. Any of your attacks are useless against me. Is that so? Lin Xian sneered. He took a step forward and arrived in front of the young man again. At this time, his back was facing the holy son of myriad thunder and the others. Thus, a golden light appeared in his eyes. Buzz! Heavenly secret, godly eyes. At this moment, Lin Xian finally used this terrifying eye technique. The young man in yellow finally changed his expression because he realized that this time his opponent did not use a violent fist attack. Instead, it formed a pair of golden eyes. He knew that this was a soul attack. It was extremely strange and impossible to guard against. The next moment, he wanted to scream and run away, but he could not do so at all, because when his gaze landed on the golden eyes, he was completely stunned. The young man in yellow was stunned when he saw Lin Xian's golden eyes. The next moment, he felt that his soul was sucked away by the golden eyes and then entered a special space. What the people outside saw was that the young man in yellow suddenly stopped in midair. He did not move at all and even gave up resisting. Then, Lin Xian snorted and waved his hand. Suddenly, a shocking saber light slashed across and cut the young man's head open. Poof! Blood splattered and dyed the sky red. Lin Xian, on the other hand, grabbed the headless corpse and shook it forcefully, shattering it into pieces. Then he grabbed the black cloak battle armor in his hand. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile when he sensed the terrifying energy coming from the black armor. This is really good stuff. I'll take it. What? Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. Even the holy son of Myriad Thunder's mind went blank. He could not figure out how Lin Xian succeeded. He recognized that yellow-clothed young man, and he was a genius disciple of a great clan in the Northern Territory. Moreover, he had the black cloak battle armor that was passed down by a powerful figure in his family. It could be said that his defense was unparalleled. Even he would find it difficult to kill him. But now, the yellow-clothed youth had been killed. Moreover, he was killed so easily, there wasn't even any resistance. Damn it, what the hell happened before? Everyone was shocked and puzzled. This was because they had no idea what had happened at that moment that caused the yellow-clothed young man to actually give up on resisting. Just as they were puzzled. On the other side, Lin Xian used his powerful soul power to erase the soul imprint on the armor. Then, with a wave of his hand, the armor quickly enlarged and covered his body. Buzz, buzz, buzz! The black battle armor blossomed with light, taking on the shape of Lin Xian's body. Then, it flickered with an ice-cold radiance. Haha, this is indeed a good item. Lin Xian was overjoyed. He could naturally feel the strength of this battle armor. Previously, even his black dragon fist could not easily cause damage to it. One could imagine how terrifying this armor was. He was afraid that with this battle armor, he could withstand the attack of a powerful figure. Lin Xian even had the confidence to fight with a powerful figure now. The next moment, he turned to look ahead and said in a cold voice, "Who else has treasures in their hands? Send them to me. Today, I'll take them all." To be honest, he was really happy today because these people who followed the holy son of Myriad Thunder to hunt him down were all powerful geniuses. Everyone had treasures in their hands, and some of these treasures were very useful to him, such as the black cloak battle armor. If he could get it, it would definitely improve his strength again. Even if he killed the holy daughter of all beginnings in the future, it would greatly increase his chances of winning. Therefore, Lin Xian was very happy. Hearing Lin Xian's words, those people in front fell silent, because he had killed 2 powerful geniuses in a row and displayed his powerful strength. They had to take him seriously. However, some people could not help but think that he was too arrogant. Damn boy, how dare he be so arrogant? I'll kill him. At this moment, someone finally could not help but prepare to take action. It was a middle-aged man who had reached 700 or 800 years old. He belonged to the older generation and was extremely powerful. He was far from being comparable to an ordinary young king. Seeing the older generation expert take action, many people breathed a sigh of relief, because they knew that the middle-aged man's strength was absolutely terrifying. They thought that the other party would not be able to block it. The middle-aged man had blue hair and was dressed in black. He strode forward. His footsteps were so heavy that the void trembled as if a mountain was walking in the air. After the middle-aged man walked out, he brought with him a powerful aura. However, the holy son of Myriad Thunder was still worried, so he handed over the Hell God's spear in his hand. "Senior, use this as a weapon." "Well, in that case, I'll borrow it first." The blue-haired, middle-aged man took the Hell God's spear with a sneer on his chiseled face. "Brat, to be able to die to this artifact, you should be proud. You should know that this Hell God's spear is very terrifying. It has killed more than one powerful figure. What? It really is that treasure." After hearing this, the surrounding kings widened their eyes in shock and fear. Previously, they felt that the black spear was very familiar, but they did not expect it to have such a terrifying origin. Indeed, the Hell God's spear was very evil. It was pitch black like black jade, and they did not know what material it was made of. Moreover, it was engraved with mysterious Tao runes that flowed with a cold light. It could easily tear the void apart with a gentle shake. One could imagine how terrifying the power of this divine spear would be if it was activated with great magic power. It has killed a powerful figure before. On the other side, Lin Xian also frowned. He could naturally sense the terrifying aura of the black divine spear. The next moment, he drew out the 9 darkness demonic sword and was ready to fight with all his strength. Useless boy, don't resist. With my strength and the Hell God spear, you have no power to resist at all. Seeing Lin Xian draw his sword and still want to resist, the blue-haired middle-aged man showed a look of disdain. In his current state, he was confident that he could fight against a powerful figure, let alone a young boy. Therefore, in the next moment, he was ready to attack Lin Xian. On the other side, Lin Xian also made his move. The next moment, Lin Xian took a step forward. Then, the entire void began to tremble rapidly, as if it was being pressed down by a huge mountain. It could not withstand this force at all. Not only that, a sharp sword wave erupted from Lin Xian's body and swept in all directions. The terrifying energy caused the surrounding people's faces to change. Chapter 1850. Not only that, a sharp sword wave erupted from Lin Xian's body and swept out in all directions. The terrifying energy caused everyone's expression to change. Humph! On the opposite side, the blue-haired, middle-aged man's pupils shrank. He could naturally feel that Lin Xian's strength had increased again. This was unbelievable to him. He knew that he couldn't wait any longer. He had to act quickly. Boom! Therefore, in the next moment, he waved the black spear in his hand and turned it into demonic shadows that charged toward Lin Xian. The Hell God spear was extremely black and carried a strange demonic power that seemed to be able to kill gods and Buddhas. Boom! 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 Wherever it passed, the void collapsed rapidly. The black spear carried boundless flames that enveloped the entire sky. Lin Xian took a deep breath and clenched the 9 darkness demonic sword in his hand. Then he slashed forward. Buzz! 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 The 9 darkness demonic sword expanded in the wind and turned into a giant sword that was hundreds of feet long. It was like a black mountain that was abnormally heavy. The sword was engraved with demonic runes that contained a supreme, murderous aura. What a terrifying demonic sword! All the surrounding kings were extremely shocked when they saw this scene. They realized that the demonic sword in Lin Xian's hand was too terrifying. It didn't seem to be any weaker than the Hell God spear. Damn it, who is this kid? Why does he have so many treasures in his hands? The demonic sword was at least an upper grade, earth rank treasure, or even stronger. Fortunately, the blue demon Taoist was using the Hell God spear. Otherwise, this battle would be unpredictable. Discussions broke out. Obviously, everyone was shocked by Lin Xian's move. Boom! On the battlefield, Lin Xian waved the hundreds of feet long demonic sword and quickly stood up. The entire sky collapsed in an instant. The terrifying black spear radiance and the boundless flames started to tremble violently. Then the two collided. Boom! 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 Like a thunderclap, the terrifying energy spread out in all directions. At this moment, even the myriad Thunder Saints' expression changed. Fortunately, before he came, he had set up layers upon layers of formations around the area, which were able to conceal his aura. Otherwise, just this vibration alone would alarm all the experts in the entire Purple Cloud City. If a mighty being like the ancient cultivators were to come, they would definitely protect Lin Xian. At that time, he wouldn't be able to do anything. In front of him, Lin Xian slashed down 8 times in a row. The huge black sword Qi split apart all the flames and spear lights that filled the sky. Looking at this scene, the blue-haired, middle-aged man couldn't believe it. The fact that the other party was able to contend against him was simply unbelievable. Damn it, who the hell is this kid? He's actually so powerful. The blue-haired, middle-aged man's face turned gloomy. He realized that he had underestimated the other party. The other party's strength was absolutely terrifying and not inferior to his. In addition, the terrifying demon sword was on par with the hell god spear. This battle could be said to be a fierce struggle between dragons and tigers, with both sides evenly matched. However, not long after, the middle-aged man's face turned even darker. He realized that his opponent's strength was getting stronger and stronger, and his arm was getting numb. The hell god spear in his hand almost flew out. This really shocked him to the core. "Kid, I'm really angry now. This battle is over." The blue-haired, middle-aged man roared and held the hell god spear with both hands. In the next moment, he used the hell god spear as a long saber and slashed down fiercely. Buzz! The black, demonic shadow soared into the sky like a black sun and quickly enveloped Lin Xian. The majestic power surged down and was unimaginable. The light and shadow was like a river that reached the 9 heavens. It was endless and nothing could stop it. Lin Xian's expression was cold as he waved the 9 darkness demonic sword in his hand. Immediately, a series of mysterious trails appeared, carrying a murderous aura that soared into the sky. The dragon's sword field appeared and enveloped the surroundings. The sword chi that filled the sky was like raging waves hitting the shore, piercing through the void. Sky splitter, earth splitter, demon extermination. At the same time, Lin Xian slashed out 3 sword chi. The terrifying sword light slashed forward. These 3 sword chi were comprehended by Lin Xian from the giant sword in the oblique moon mystic world. Its power was extremely terrifying and could destroy the experts in the world. At this moment, when he used it, it was even more powerful. Buzz! The first sword broke the black spear shadow that filled the sky. The second sword directly knocked the hell god spear away. The third sword cut the blue-haired middle-aged man into 2 halves. After the third sword, everything disappeared. The 2 halves of the corpse fell to the ground, and blood dyed the ground red. The hell god spear fell from the sky and stabbed into the ground, trembling non-stop. As it swayed, cracks began to appear in the surrounding void. Originally, Lin Xian wanted to snatch it, but the Thousand Thunder Saint was faster. It was his treasure, and he could not afford to lose it. So he kept an eye on it. When the hell god spear was knocked away, he had already made his move and quickly snatched the hell god spear back. The next moment, his face was gloomy. Holding the hell god spear in his hand, he pointed forward and shouted coldly, "All of you, attack together and kill him. Kill!" When the surrounding kings heard the order, they no longer hesitated and roared. A powerful aura surged from their bodies, and they quickly charged forward. To be honest, the previous 3 battles were too shocking. They did not expect Lin Xian to be so powerful and far exceeded their expectations. In a one-on-one battle, no one was a match for him. But so what? This time, they had a large number of kings. If they joined forces, they would definitely be able to kill him. Finally, all of you are attacking together? Then I'll play with you. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Then the dragon sword realm quickly expanded and shrouded everyone. The sword chi that filled the sky was bright and sharp as it fell mercilessly. "Kid, you're too arrogant. You want to fight against so many kings by yourself? You're courting death." When the kings saw this, they immediately sneered. They also opened their king realm and collided with the dragon sword realm. They might not be a match for one person, but with so many of them attacking together, no matter how powerful the opponent was, he would not be able to resist. Unless the opponent was a real almighty. Boom! A terrifying collision sound rang out, and a huge crack appeared in the void. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The great dragon sword soul in his body roared, and a dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared in front of him. The dragon sword realm was also activated to the extreme. The sharp light was like a divine red as it quickly slashed in all directions. Puff! In an instant, 5 kings were sent flying. A huge crack appeared in their king realm, and it looked like they were about to be cut in half. How is he so powerful? Seeing this, the eyelids of the surrounding kings twitched. They did not expect that even if they joined forces, they would not be able to kill the opponent in an instant. This was too terrifying. Hurry up and attack together. Kill him. Otherwise, no one will be able to rest easy in the future. An expert roared and prepared to attack with all his strength. The others also roared. Chapter 1851. Indeed, they already had the intention to kill and had attacked. It could be said that they had formed a death grudge. If they didn't kill the other party, they would wait for the other party to break through and mature. Then, they would definitely be killed by the other party in the future. This was a battle of life and death. It was either you die or I live. Bang! Right at this moment, 3 kings appeared behind Lin Xian in an eerie manner. The long swords in their hands transformed into streaks of astonishing sword light as they stabbed forward at high speed. It was too fast. Even Lin Xian couldn't block it. Moreover, there were so many people around. Even if he dodged, he would be hit by other attacks. Therefore, in the next moment, he was hit by the 3 sword lights and quickly flew backward. Lin Xian only stopped after retreating for more than 1,000 meters. However, he sneered, "It's useless. I have to thank you for the black armor that you gave me before. Your attacks can't break through my defense. Damn it, that armor is too troublesome." Perhaps only an Earth-grade, superior-grade artifact could pose a threat to him. The 3 kings who had succeeded also had gloomy expressions. Under normal circumstances, even if it was only one body, it would be seriously injured after being ambushed by the 3 of them. But now, the other party was completely fine. They couldn't believe it. They wanted to find a powerful weapon to break through Lin Xian's defense. However, at that moment, Lin Xian sneered. "Since you're done attacking, it's my turn." He waved his hand and directly set up 7 or 8 killing arrays that quickly enveloped the surroundings. These formations were inscribed by him on a daily basis, and their power was also incomparably strong. They were originally used to deal with danger, but he didn't expect them to be used now. Boom! Boom! The terrifying killing arrays exploded, and terrifying energy swept in all directions. Immediately, the kings resisted frantically. One had to know that Lin Xian's array skills came from the Crimson Dragon. It was definitely terrifying. Very few people below the mighty figure level could block it. Therefore, at that moment, the kings were screaming in pain. They had the advantage in numbers, but Lin Xian had many killing arrays too. Therefore, all the kings were resisting the terrifying energy in the sky and thinking of ways to break the arrays. Not many people made a move against Lin Xian. Seeing this, the myriad Thunder Saints' face darkened. That was because he didn't expect that so many experts he had brought with him would be easily dealt with by the other party. He found it hard to believe. Furthermore, he realized that he had truly underestimated his opponent. There were so many killing formations, and their power was so terrifying that even he did not have them. However, the other party had casually struck out. Who exactly was this person? How could it possess such a killing array? How could he be so wealthy? To be honest, even if he was beaten to death, he would not believe that Lin Xian was a rogue cultivator. He guessed that the other party must be a disciple of some mysterious power, and he must have some other purpose for coming out. "Brat, I don't care who you are, nor do I care how many killing arrays you have. But since you dared to provoke me, you're dead for sure this time." The 10,000 Thunder Saint snorted and prepared to do it himself. He had a real body, and his strength was incomparably terrifying. Coupled with the Hell God Spear in his hand, he could even fight against Almighties. So as far as he was concerned, so long as he made a move, it would be extremely easy for him to kill the other party. Lin Xian sneered. "Don't bother. It's useless. You can't catch me at all. Even if you make a move, it's useless." He now had the combat strength of a saint, and he had the 9 Serenity demonic sword in his hand, as well as many treasured artifacts and secret techniques. He could be said to be extremely powerful. He was confident that he could defeat a saint. Therefore, even if the 10,000 Thunder Saint was a real saint and had the Hell God Spear, he had no fear. "You're courting death." The 10,000 Thunder Saint was furious. The other party dared to look down on him. He was really courting death. He was the true Holy Son, and he was above everyone else. So the next moment he sneered. "Brat, you're really courting death. It seems that you've never fought a real saint." "Very well. Today I'll show you the power of a real saint." In the 10,000 Thunder Saints' opinion, the other party must be ignorant and did not know how powerful a saint-level genius was. That was why he dared to say such big words. The next moment he made a move. Boom! The thunder robe on his body billowed, and the endless power of thunder and lightning surged, condensing into a huge figure behind him. It was hundreds of feet tall and stood between heaven and earth. Surrounded by endless thunder and lightning, it looked down on all living beings. Then, the huge thunder god phantom stretched out a thunder and lightning palm, reaching down and enveloping Lin Xian. Boom! The void cracked open, and countless thunder and lightning surged. For a moment, the entire space turned into a sea of thunder and lightning. What terrifying energy! The 10,000 Thunder Saint has made a move. The people around were shocked, and then they were ecstatic. It's great that the 10,000 Thunder Saint has made a move. That brat will definitely die. Let's join forces to remove these killing arrays first. Let's capture that brat together. These people were completely relieved because they were worried that the other party would attack them while they were fighting against the killing arrays. But now it seemed that their worries were completely unnecessary. With the 10,000 Thunder Saint making a move, that brat would definitely not be able to resist. It would not be long before that brat was killed. There would be no extra time to disturb them. In front, Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the thunder and lightning palm that blotted out the sky and earth. He immediately snorted coldly. The next moment, countless sword chi surrounded his body, as if the sword god had descended to the mortal world. Not only that, countless sword chi formed a huge bell in front of him, vibrating rapidly. Buzz! Suddenly, a terrifying sound wave spread in all directions. The sword chi sound wave was extremely terrifying, piercing through the sky in all directions. It contended with the terrifying thunder and lightning palm in the sky. The two collided and caused a huge explosion, constantly clashing in the air. This scene was naturally perceived by the surrounding kings. Then they all widened their eyes in disbelief. Damn it! How is this possible? He actually blocked the 10,000 Thunder Saints' attack. Heavens, am I dreaming? How did he do it? Does he really have the combat strength of a saint? These people were really confused because they originally thought that as long as the 10,000 Thunder Saint made a move, he would definitely be able to kill Lin Xian easily. However, that was not the case. Lin Xian had used a terrifying divine skill to block the thunder and lightning palm. Even when facing the 10,000 Thunder Saint, his momentum was not inferior at all. This made them think that the two saints were instructing them. He blocked it. The 10,000 Thunder Saint also frowned when he saw this scene. To be honest, this moment was also beyond his expectations. Lin Xian had only blocked one of his attacks. So what? His strength was far beyond this. The next moment, he waved his arm again. Suddenly, the huge thunder god behind him also stretched out another palm and mercilessly fell. Chapter 1852. The sea of thunder surged, and the void cracked. It was as if a thunder mountain was descending from the sky, trying to suppress Lin Xian. In the face of the terrifying attack, Lin Xian's eyes were cold. He floated in the dragon, sword domain like a sword immortal. On his body, there was a sharp sword wave surging. Along with it, there was a terrifying killing intent. This killing intent rushed into the sky, tearing the sky and the earth. Even the kings who were fighting against the killing formation in the distance felt this shocking, killing intent at this moment. Suddenly, all the muscles in their bodies turned cold, and even the blood in their bodies almost solidified. So terrifying! They trembled when they felt this aura. Fortunately, it was the 10,000 Thunder Saint who was fighting with the other party. If it were them, they wouldn't even be able to block one move. Boom! In the sky, the second thunder god's palm descended, and it was even more terrifying than the first one. The big hand covered the sky, blotting out the sky and the earth. It fell fiercely and almost reached Lin Xian's side. The big bell in front of Lin Xian turned into countless sword qi sound waves, resisting the two big hands tenaciously. Boom! 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 The two collided as if thousands of troops and horses were fighting. The terrifying sound waves pierced through the void. This scene was too terrifying. It was not even weaker than the magic used by the mighty figures. Humph, it's useless. You can't block my attack at all. In front of him, the 10,000 Thunder Saint sneered. He was very confident in his Thunder God's phantom. No matter how powerful the other party's sword qi was, it would eventually be shattered. Lin Xian's expression was solemn, and he remained unmoved. Countless sword qi surrounded him, and the dragon's sword domain floated up and down, evolving into a small world. The dragon's sword domain was formed by the dragon sword soul, and it was the most powerful saint art in the world. Of course, this was not all, and it would only become stronger in the future. Sure enough, the next moment, Lin Xian exerted his strength again. He took a step forward like a sword immortal, looking down on all living things. Countless streaks of sword qi transformed into a giant dragon, crawling under his feet and carrying him forward. Behind him, 6 sword god phantoms appeared. Each of them exuded a powerful aura as if they were peerless divine swords. The dragon's sword domain shone brightly, enveloping everything. Destroy! Lin Xian uttered a thunderous roar. Immediately, the 6 sword god phantoms attacked. 6 shocking sword qi slashed forward at high speed. Wong! The 6 streaks of sword qi were like divine rainbows as they slashed down rapidly. The void trembled and shattered right away. Then, the 6 streaks of sword qi landed on the 2 lightning palms. Boom! Lightning exploded, rushing in all directions. Sword qi was like a tide, as if thousands of soldiers and horses were galloping. At this moment, the world lost its color, and the sun and moon lost their light. Gradually, the 2 lightning hands dimmed, as if they would disappear at any moment. The sword qi that filled the sky became more and more powerful, as if it had become the only thing in the world. The 10,000 Thunder Saint is being suppressed. Seeing this scene, the surrounding kings felt their scalps go numb. They couldn't believe it. On the other hand, the Saint Son of Myriad Thunder snorted coldly. He didn't expect his opponent's sword qi to be so sharp, which was indeed rare in his life. However, to suppress him? How could this be? His strength was not limited to this. In the next moment, he roared. More lightning power gushed out of his body and poured into the Thunder God shadow behind him. Suddenly, the Thunder God shadow became more solid, as if it was the real Thunder God from the 9th heaven. Mysterious thunder runes appeared on his body, which contained unparalleled power. At the same time, the dim lightning hand also quickly brightened. Then they clenched their hands into fists and bombarded downward. Boom! Boom! The terrifying lightning fists fell and collided with the sword qi in the sky. Both of them exploded. The fierce confrontation between Lin Xian and the Saint Son of Myriad Thunder caused the whole sky to fall into a frenzy. This battle was simply too intense, causing the surrounding kings to shudder with fear and trepidation. Many of them even turned pale and trembled. The reason for that was because this sort of battle was simply a battle between gods to them. Even a single shockwave could kill them. Wang. In front of them, the battle became even more intense. Streaks of sword chi were like divine rainbows, slashing in all directions and bombarding the lightning palms. Lin Xian performed the demon-slaying 3 styles again. It was as if he was splitting the sky and the earth. Finally, he blasted away the 2 huge lightning palms. What? It's broken! The surrounding people widened their eyes in disbelief. Such a powerful thunder god's fist was actually broken by sword chi? What kind of sword technique is this? How could it be so powerful? The saint son of myriad thunders' pupils shrank. This scene was beyond his expectations. He was very confident in his thunder god shadow and thought that his opponent could not break it at all. But now his lightning fist had been shattered by his opponent's terrifying sword chi. This made him extremely shocked. "You're courting death!" The saint son of myriad thunder roared. His eyes were like lightning, his black hair fluttered, and the aura of thunder and lightning burst out from his body. He looked like an ancient thunder god who had awakened. Terrifying thunder and lightning spread in all directions. In the next moment, he rushed forward with the lightning in the sky. Wang. The hell god's spear in his hand bloomed with black light. Terrifying demonic shadows surrounded him. Then he stabbed out. The hell god's spear waved, carrying a powerful force. Every strike was like a meteor from outer space. It was extremely terrifying. It was even accompanied by hot gray flames that spread rapidly. It was terrifying. Humph! Seeing his opponent coming, Lin Xian did not retreat. Instead, he approached. He took a step forward. The sword chi on his body suddenly burst out, and the demonic sword in his hand slashed down quickly. The dragon sword realm shrouded the saint son of myriad thunder, and the sword chi in the sky fell crazily. The 2 fought fiercely, shaking the sky and the earth. Demon extermination. Suddenly, Lin Xian roared. He waved his long sword, which emitted a shocking light. The demonic runes on it seemed to have awakened, emitting a destructive aura. Boom! The sword slashed down, and the terrifying sword chi directly split the entire void. The ground sank in an instant, and the surrounding ceiling array began to shake violently. It seemed that it would break at any time. It could not be helped. This sword was too terrifying. The black, demonic shadows in the sky seemed to be torn apart by a pair of invisible hands. The saint son of myriad thunders' pupils shrank. He felt a sharp sword wave, falling from the sky and enveloping him. It was going to split him in half. Get lost! Suddenly, he held the hell god spear in his right hand and punched out with his left hand. Myriad thunder god fist. Thunder roared. The blue fist was crystal clear, as if it was carved out of a thunder crystal. A violent force blasted forward, colliding with the terrifying destructive sword chi. Boom! An earth-shattering explosion rang out, and a terrifying pressure quickly swept in all directions. At this moment, the kings who were resisting the killing array were also affected. One by one, they were sent flying. They were in an extremely sorry state. Some even vomited blood. It could not be helped. This force was too powerful. Chapter 1853. Lin Xian and the myriad thunder saint, who were at the center of the explosion, kept retreating like lightning as they stepped on the void. However, Lin Xian had the black battle armor on him, which blocked most of the energy impact. Therefore, he only retreated with a pale face and did not suffer any serious injuries. However, the saint's son had a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. It was unusually scarlet. What? The saint's son is injured. Seeing this scene, the surrounding kings got up from the ground and stared with their eyes wide open. This is unbelievable. The myriad Thunder Saint's son had actually been injured while fighting a 5-star king. If this news were to spread, no one would believe it. Indeed, not only was the Saint's son injured, but many of his bones were also broken. His eyes were unusually cold. The next moment, he operated a supreme divine skill, and the bones in his body quickly healed, making crackling sounds. In an instant, his injuries were healed. However, his expression became even colder. The other party had injured him. This was unforgivable. Boy, very good. You have successfully angered me. Next, I will let you know the consequences of offending me. The Saint's son's eyes were full of killing intent. Humph. Use whatever means you have. I will take it. However, if you are not as good as me and are killed by me, then you can't blame anyone else. Lin Xian shouted coldly as sword qi surged on his body. Boom! The battle broke out again. Lin Xian waved the 9 Serenities' demonic sword and Heavenly Dragon's 8 steps and quickly killed his way forward. The Saint's son controlled the Hell God's spear and the boundless sea of thunder to fight. This time, a crystal-clear thunder battle armor appeared on his body. It was extremely terrifying and shining with boundless brilliance. Needless to say, this was also a terrifying upper Earth-step treasure. With a strong defense, the Saint's son was even more ferocious. He launched all kinds of attacks without any regard for his life, wanting to kill Lin Xian. Boom! Lin Xian used the great dragon sword soul to the extreme, even though there was a huge gap between him and the 10,000 Thunder Saint. Although there was a huge gap between him and the great dragon sword soul, the offensive saint technique of the great dragon sword soul made this gap non-existent. His attack power was not weaker than his opponent's at all. Moreover, the more he fought, the braver he became. The entire void had been beaten beyond recognition. Wang, the great dragon sword spirit roared. Lin Xian once again used the world, destroying Black Dragon Fist. What was terrifying was that the Black Dragon Fist transformed into layers of dragon shadows and charged forward. The sudden Armageddon Black Dragon Fist landed on the myriad Thunder Sage's body. Even with the protection of his armor, the 10,000 Thunder Saint was still sent flying and spat out a mouthful of blood. Ah! I'll kill you! The Saint's son of 10,000 Thunder roared. His black hair danced wildly, and his body was surrounded by terrible thunder and lightning, as if he was the god of thunder. He was too angry. After fighting for so long, he had actually been injured twice. Although his opponent had also been affected, it was not as serious as his. In comparison, he was actually inferior to the other party. This was intolerable. Therefore, at the next moment, he was prepared to use his ultimate skill to end this battle. Myriad Thunder Divine Ability, Fury of Thunder. The 10,000 Thunder Saint Son roared and rushed over like a thunderbolt. The thunder battle armor on his body shone, forming a dazzling light that blocked all of the sword chi. At this moment, the 10,000 Thunder Saint Son was extremely powerful. A sea of thunder surged around him as he took a step forward and instantly came to Lin Xian's side. This pace could be said to be extremely fast. At the same time, he waved the Hell God's spear in his hand, which carried the demonic shadows and the terrible power of thunder, and stabbed forward. Suddenly, tens of thousands of black spear lights filled the air, and gray flames spewed out. The terrible power surged, and the whole sky collapsed. As for the surrounding buildings, they were reduced to ashes by this energy. Even the kings in the distance all retreated frantically, not daring to get close at all. One could imagine how terrifying this attack was. The Hell God Spear swept across with a terrible murderous aura. Wherever it passed, the void shattered. Everything turned into nothingness. At this moment, the 10,000 Thunder Saint Son seemed to have transformed into the god of death. Lin Xian's pupils shrank as well. Naturally, He could sense how terrifying the situation was. Therefore, he did not resist at all. Instead, he used the heavenly dragon's 8 steps to dodge to the limit. For a moment, countless afterimages appeared in the sky. He had no idea where Lin Xian's real body was. Puff! Puff! The 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun's cold voice also sounded. It's useless. This time, you absolutely can't escape. Soon, the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun locked onto Lin Xian's real body. Then, the terrible spear light directly pierced the void and attacked. Lin Xian knew that he could not dodge, so he could only resist. However, he was not afraid at all. Terrifying sword qi appeared around him. Streaks of dazzling sword light tore through heaven and earth and slashed forward. The 9-swimming demonic sword in his hand soared into the sky, sweeping everything in its path. For a moment, the hellfire in the sky was annihilated, and a terrible crack appeared in the void. The spear's shadows in the sky were also broken in an instant. The sword cut through the sky. The aura of the hair could destroy heaven and earth. At this moment, Lin Xian was extremely powerful. Clang! 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 The 9-darkness demonic sword collided with the hell god spear, producing a fierce sound. Countless sparks splashed in all directions. Each of them was like a meteor falling to the ground, smashing a terrible deep hole in the ground. More attacks blasted on the 2 of them. Fortunately, the 2 of them were wearing the best defensive armor, which was why they could withstand so many attacks. Otherwise, if it were any other 6-star king, they would have been killed by this attack. Even so, the 2 of them were not in good condition. After all, no matter how strong the defense of the Zhan family was, it was impossible to eliminate it completely. Therefore, the power still penetrated their armor and invaded their bodies. For a moment, both of them were injured and spat out mouthfuls of blood. The 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun was incomparably crazy, and Lin Xian finally shed blood. One had to admit that the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun was a powerful and terrifying opponent. Bang! Another fierce collision. Then Lin Xian and the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun each retreated 1,000 meters and stood in the void, facing each other. They did not attack again because the injuries in their bodies were very terrible. They had to suppress it. Whoosh! As the future successor of the 10,000 Thunder sacred ground, the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun had many treasures in his hands. He quickly took out a jade bottle and drank a bottle of spiritual liquid. Immediately, the injuries in his body were quickly healed. Not only that, but streaks of sparkling and translucent light surrounded his body, like a rosy cloud. Lin Xian did not swallow any elixirs. His longevity incantation was a sacred technique for healing injuries. In the next moment, he activated the longevity incantation, and the qi and blood in his body burst out like thunder. The surrounding spiritual qi poured into his body crazily, healing the injuries in his body. Chapter 1854. The next moment, he also recovered from his injuries. Everyone looked at this scene with their eyes wide open. This method was too heaven-defying. They couldn't do it at all, because they didn't have Lin Xian's longevity secret art, nor were they as rich as the 1,000 Thunder Saint Sun. Therefore, if they encountered such a serious injury, they would definitely die. However, what they didn't know was that in this match that seemed to be evenly matched, both of them had recovered. However, there was actually a hidden danger in the 1,000 Thunder Saint Sun's body. This was because Lin Xian's sword aura was not something that could be easily removed. That was the sword qi produced by the dragon sword soul. It was extremely sharp and even had an indestructible aura. Although it was suppressed now, if it wasn't completely removed, it would erupt sooner or later, causing more serious injuries. The 1,000 Thunder Saint Sun didn't pay attention to this at all. Firstly, he believed in the healing panacea in his hand. Secondly, all his energy was now focused on how to kill his opponent. Therefore, he didn't pay much attention to the sword chi at all. Lin Xian also frowned. Now, both sides were really angry, and the surrounding government could collapse at any time. At that time, the commotion here would definitely attract the experts from the Purple Cloud City. If a mighty figure came, then he would be in a bad situation. Therefore, he decided to end the battle quickly. The next moment, Lin Xian displayed the Dragon Sword Realm. His whole body was like a sword god standing in the realm. The Dragon Sword Realm bloomed with a bright light, as if it was a sword world, isolating all auras. The sky full of gray flames and the terrifying black demonic shadow were all blocked outside. Kill! Lin Xian carried the Dragon Sword Realm and charged over again. Humph! The 1,000 Thunder Saint Sun snorted coldly and also propped up a Thunder Realm, and there was even a Thunder God's Phantom inside. As a saint, his realm was even more terrifying. It was beyond ordinary people, and his opponent was only a 5-star king. How dare he challenge his realm? He was really courting death. Go to hell, boy! The 1,000 Thunder Saint Sun roared and instantly came forward with the Thunder Realm. The terrifying power of thunder turned into energy that filled the sky and blasted over fiercely. It seemed that the 1,000 Thunder Saint Sun wanted to flood Lin Xian's realm. Chop! The dragon's sword domain trembled, and the countless sword chi inside transformed into a crescent moon, slashing forward. This crescent moon sword chi was extremely terrifying. It contained the power of sword Tao as it charged forward. The myriad Thunder Saint Sun was startled. That crescent-shaped sword chi gave him a very dangerous feeling. In fact, it could even take his life. This made him feel incredulous. The other party was only a 5-star king realm. How could his attainments in the king realm be so terrifying? In fact, he was not inferior to him at all. Damn it, this brat is definitely hiding his strength. Wan Leishing realized that he absolutely could not judge Lin Xian by his cultivation base. This was because his battle prowess, domain, and soul power had all surpassed that of a 5-star king. In the sky, it really seemed like a crescent moon was pressing down, extinguishing the endless hellfire. It even blocked the lightning that filled the sky. The terrifying crescent sword chi slashed towards the myriad thunder sage with terrifying energy. Descent of the Thunder God! Sensing the crisis, the myriad thunder saint shouted and waved his hand. Suddenly, countless lightning bolts descended from the sky and merged into his king's domain. Then, a Thunder God Phantom appeared again. This Thunder God's Phantom was different from the previous one. It wasn't 100 zhang tall, but it was only a dozen meters tall. However, it was more solid. It was as if the real Thunder God had descended to the world with terrifying lightning power. My myriad Thunder God art is invincible. What can you do to me? The myriad Thunder Saint Sun roared crazily. His eyes flickered with eternal light as he blasted toward the crescent moon sword chi. Boom! The next moment, the two collided, causing the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. The myriad Thunder Saint Sun was sent flying thousands of meters away. In the next moment, the crescent moon sword chi in the sky also exploded with a loud bang. Impossible! Your power can't be stronger than mine. The myriad Thunder Saint Sun looked crazy. This time he was injured again, but the other party's sword chi was only shattered. He could not believe that the real body was not injured. Fury of the Thunder God, kill! The myriad Thunder Saint Sun went crazy. In the next moment, the 10-meter-tall Thunder God merged with him, and his whole body erupted with unparalleled power. The Hell God spear waved, carrying a curve of lightning. A thick lightning aura spread out and shrouded Lin Xian in an instant. Lin Xian looked calm. He raised his arm high and pointed the 9 Serenities' demonic sword at the sky. Suddenly, in the Dragon Sword Realm, countless sword chi condensed and formed a sun. It was extremely bright and was completely condensed by sword chi. It was very dazzling, like a real sun. blooming with endless light. In the next moment, this huge sun, accompanied by Lin Xian's movements, fell crazily. Accompanying it was not only the sharp sword qi, but also the endless heat. At this moment, the power of the great dragon sword soul was finally manifested. It could evolve everything in the world. Boom! In the sky, one side was a bright sun, and the other side was incomparably violent lightning. The two sides kept fighting in the air, and then they were annihilated. This time, the myriad thunder saint sun was blasted away again. Even the lightning on his body dimmed a lot. The terrifying sun was like a divine sword, and the light was like sword qi. It was extremely sharp and hit him, sending him flying. And after that, the battle broke out again. The myriad thunder saint sun used the divine power of the myriad thunder sacred ground, while Lin Xian was like a sword god. In his hand, the sword qi that filled the sky turned into everything in the world. Mountains, seas, trees, the sun, the moon, and stars. Each of them was incomparably real and terrifying. It was as if Lin Xian was evolving a world. The surrounding kings looked at this scene and were extremely shocked. This was too shocking. They had never thought that the myriad thunder saint sun would be suppressed one day, and by a 5-star king at that. Boom! After hundreds of moves, the myriad thunder saint sun vomited blood and was sent flying again. The thunder god's shadow on his body finally disappeared, and his aura rapidly declined. Obviously, the time of summoning the thunder god's shadow was up, and he had also suffered an extremely serious injury. This greatly reduced his battle strength. However, Lin Xian became more and more courageous as he fought. He was like a god of war, unstoppable. Damn brat, I was careless this time. But the next time I see you, I will kill you with my own hands. The myriad thunder saint sun gritted his teeth, but he didn't dare to fight with his opponent again, because if they continued to fight, he would definitely die. At this moment, he no longer cared about the innate purple thunderstone. He turned around and turned into a flash of lightning, fleeing toward the sky. "Want to leave?" Lin Xian sneered. He used the heavenly dragon's 8 steps and quickly chased after him. Boom! The myriad thunder saint sun was determined to escape. Not only did he use the thunder god steps, but 2 thunder god's wings also appeared on his back, carrying him quickly to fly. In an instant, he removed the surrounding array and quickly soared into the sky, fleeing into the distance. Chapter 1855. Run away. The kings in the surroundings were also fleeing frantically. Even the 10,000 thunder saint had left. They did not dare to stay any longer. If the other party came back, none of them would be a match for him. Therefore, these people also fled in all directions. 3 of the killing arrays that Lin Xian had set up were destroyed, and the remaining 5 were summoned back by Lin Xian with a wave of his hand. These undamaged killing arrays could be used again. They only needed to be refined again. Without the concealment of the array, the aura and scene here were all known to the powerhouse of the Purple Cloud City. Countless kings all looked at the suburbs at this moment. Then they were extremely shocked. That was because that place had been reduced to nothingness. Everything no longer existed. Who the hell is fighting here? How can they conceal all auras? This is too terrifying. I can feel that the remaining aura is too terrifying. Those below the Almighty are simply invincible. *CK. It can't be that 2 saints are fighting, right? A series of discussions sounded. The kings rushed over and were shocked when they saw the scene. Soon, everyone looked up at the sky. Look, there are people fighting over there. In the night sky, 2 figures were like flowing lights, one in front and one behind. They were chasing each other and constantly colliding with each other. These 2 figures were naturally Lin Xian and the 10,000 Thunder Saint. One of them was escaping, and the other was chasing. The battle between them was extremely intense. The 10,000 Thunder Saint had escaped, but it seemed that he was not trying to escape from the purple cloud city. Instead, he had been hovering above the purple cloud city as if waiting for something. This made Lin Xian very uneasy because he was afraid that the Almighty of the 10,000 Thunder Sacred Land would come. If that happened, he would be in trouble. However, after waiting for a while, he found that no Almighty had appeared, so he continued to attack. Heavens, this power is too terrifying. It's really two holy suns fighting. Everyone looked at the two flowing lights in the sky in shock. The speed was so fast that ordinary kings could not see the figures at all. They could only see the surging power constantly colliding in the sky. When they sensed this power, their faces turned pale because this was the power of a saint. The kings were not the only ones who sensed it. Even the Almighties extended their senses to observe the battle in the sky. What? It's him. Among them, the ancient cultivators also looked up at the sky. As a powerful being, he could clearly see the people fighting in the sky. The 10,000 Thunder Saint was not surprised. After all, the other party was a saint. It was normal for him to have this kind of energy. However, the other person shocked him greatly because he also knew that person. It was Lin Xian. Previously, he was very concerned about Lin Xian and wanted to pull him into his Gu clan. This was because he felt that Lin Xian's talent was very good. Moreover, he was a young prodigy. After a few decades of growth, it was not impossible for him to reach the level of a saint. But now he was extremely shocked. This was because the power displayed by the other party had already reached the level of a saint. And even stronger, because, judging from the current situation, it was the 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun who was running away. This was too shocking. A holy sun was actually being chased by a rogue cultivator. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have dared to believe it. Everyone looked up at the sky. This almost dreamlike scene was extremely shocking. This battle would definitely be recorded in the history books and passed down by future generations. In the sky, the 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun was extremely anxious. He didn't expect that the person he was waiting for hadn't appeared yet. Moreover, the other party was so aggressive, which made him extremely angry. This was because, at this moment, all the martial artists in the Purple Cloud City had seen it. If this spread out, he was afraid that he would become the laughingstock of the entire eastern wilderness. Therefore, the next moment, he swallowed the healing elixir again. Then he suddenly turned around and waved the Hell God spear in his hand again. Like a black river falling, thousands of black spear shadows surged. This attack was extremely terrifying. However, Lin Xian was even more powerful. He waved the 9 darkness demonic sword in his hand and unleashed thousands of sword chi, annihilating all the void. In an instant, the terrifying sword light crisscrossed and broke through all the attacks. The 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun roared and wanted to fight back. However, the next moment, he felt a sharp pain in his body. It turned out that the sword chi that he had suppressed before had finally erupted. Impossible! The 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun's face changed drastically. He had swallowed a lot of healing elixirs before and had healed his wounds. But now, how could there be such violent sword chi in his body? He couldn't figure it out. He didn't know that Lin Xian's sword chi was extremely terrifying and couldn't be judged by common sense. Therefore, at this time, the 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun's injuries finally erupted again. The violent sword chi crazily scurried inside his body, destroying the Saint Sun of Myriad Thunder's body. Puff! The 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun's face turned pale. He vomited blood and was about to collapse. Humph! Lin Xian seized this opportunity and waved his sword again. The long sword fiercely chopped the Hell God spear and sent it flying. Then he performed the Heavenly Dragon's 8 steps and quickly hid behind the Hell God spear. What? The martial artists below looked at this scene and felt their scalps tingle. They didn't expect that the 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun would even lose the treasure in his hand. This was really unbelievable. It seemed that the 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun's injuries were more serious than expected. Damn it! The 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun was furious. The Hell God's spear was his weapon. If he lost it, he would be heartbroken. Moreover, his combat strength would also be affected. Therefore, regardless of his injuries, he forcibly operated the spiritual power in his body and even stimulated his potential to attack crazily. Boom! The sky was torn apart like a giant abyss. A thunderous beast claw stretched out from it and quickly grabbed at Lin Xian. It wanted to take back the Hell God spear. Humph! Lin Xian snorted. He held the Hell God spear and pointed it at the sky. Then a huge demonic shadow soared into the sky, piercing everything in the world and blasting away the thunderous claw. The Nine Serenities' demonic sword in his right hand was waved, and once again, a crescent-shaped sword chi slashed down fiercely. No, the 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun's face changed. If he was hit by this crescent-shaped sword chi, he couldn't resist at all and might even be killed. All the spectating martial artists were also extremely shocked. If the 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun was really killed, it would be the first time in history. Could it be that someone can really create a miracle? Everyone's eyes widened. The crescent-shaped sword chi was about to hit the 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun. However, at this moment, a sigh was suddenly heard. Then, an old figure appeared beside the 10,000 Thunder Holy Sun. It was an old man with a short height and gray hair. His weather-beaten face was engraved with wrinkles left by time. His eyes flickered with vicissitudes of life. There was also a shocking aura. He stretched out his palm and waved it gently. Immediately, the crescent-shaped sword chi in the sky stopped. The next moment, the crescent-shaped sword chi seemed to be penetrated by a great force and then disappeared into the void. Chapter 1856. The old man stretched out his palm and waved it gently. Immediately, the half-moon sword aura in the sky was frozen. The next moment, the half-moon sword aura seemed to be pierced by a great energy and then disappeared into the void. What's going on? What happened? The kings didn't understand what had happened, but the ancient cultivators frowned. To be honest, they knew that the 10,000 Thunder Saint was dangerous, but they weren't too worried, because they knew that the 10,000 Thunder Saint must have a protector by his side. Indeed, peerless geniuses, like the Saint of the Sacred Ground and the Saint and Divine Bodies of the remote antiquity families, must have strong protectors by their side. Such people were called protectors. They usually wouldn't come out. Only when the saint was in danger of life and death would they take action. At this moment, the 10,000 Thunder Saint's protector finally took action when his life was in danger. Lin Xian's pupils shrank when he saw this scene. Such a terrifying half-moon sword aura was easily blocked, which made him feel incredulous. The next moment, he saw an old man beside the 10,000 Thunder Saint. He was shocked. Almighty! Seeing the scene, Lin Xian had goosebumps all over his body. He was ready to leave at any time. Sure enough, the other party was protected by an Almighty. It seemed that it was impossible to kill the other party this time. However, he was confident that he could escape. After all, he had the Heavenly Dragon's 8 steps, which was the limit of speed. After the protector destroyed the half-moon sword aura, he didn't attack Lin Xian, which surprised Lin Xian. The 10,000 Thunder Saint was overjoyed when he saw the protector come out. He gritted his teeth and said, "Elder, kill him!" However, the protector shook his head. "My duty is to protect your safety. I won't attack anyone." After saying that, the protector ignored the 10,000 Thunder Saint and looked at Lin Xian. He said in a deep voice, "You win this battle. However, don't be too complacent. Cultivation is like sailing against the current. If you don't advance, you'll fall behind. I'll take him back to cultivate." The next time you meet, it's not certain who will win. You lost. Come back with me." The Tao Protector looked at the 10,000 Thunder Saint again. "As for what you lost, you need to take it back yourself. No one can help you." "Yes." The myriad Thunder Saint nodded, his eyes full of unwillingness. He knew that he wouldn't be able to kill Qin Shi this time, but he swore that he would definitely kill Qin Shi next time. "Brat, just you wait. The next time we meet, I will personally kill you. Take back the Hell God Spear and the innate purple Thunderstone." With that, he turned around and soared into the sky. The Protector's figure gradually disappeared into the void. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the myriad Thunder Saint son and his protector leave. He wasn't even afraid of Wanlei. However, that Tao Protector was too much of a threat to him. Fortunately, the other party did not make a move. Otherwise, a fierce battle would have been inevitable. As for the surrounding kings, they were truly astonished when they saw the scene. Lost, the Saint Son of Myriad Thunder actually lost. This was absolutely shocking news. Thinking about it, Lin Xian's name would quickly spread throughout the entire northern region, and even the eastern wilderness. After all, it was a great honor to be able to defeat a saint. As for the ancient cultivators and those experts, their expressions were solemn. I didn't expect that even the Saint Son of Myriad Thunder would lose. This young man is really powerful. This is a golden age. In addition to the geniuses of the sacred grounds and the geniuses of the remote antiquity families, other places are also full of monsters and geniuses. This is definitely a golden age for the cultivation world. I think there will be a great emperor in this era. Everyone exclaimed. They felt the pressure, because more and more geniuses and experts were appearing. This was an era of great competition. Everyone was desperately cultivating and working hard to climb up, striving to become the world's supreme being. Only the strongest could walk down this path. On the other side, Lin Xian also used the Heavenly Dragon's 8 steps and quickly left the place. While everyone was still in a daze, he quickly left. Otherwise, it would be troublesome if some almighty targeted him. Although the protectors did not attack him, it did not mean that the other almighties would not attack him. After all, he had treasures like the connate purple thunder rock, the 10,000-year spiritual liquid, and the Hell God Spear. It was enough to make people jealous. In an instant, Lin Xian disappeared into the night sky. No one knew where he went. The few almighties who were scheming side shook their heads and stopped attacking. His speed was not inferior to theirs, and they were one step behind. It was impossible for them to catch up with him. Moreover, they were not willing to provoke this young genius if they were not sure of winning. After all, when he grew up, his potential would be unlimited and extremely terrifying. In the vast mountains far away from the purple cloud city, Lin Xian's figure appeared. He opened up a blessed cave and then went into seclusion. He casually set up some formations and then entered the Black Earth. Inside the Black Earth, the Crimson Dragon had reached the final stage and was about to finish resisting the Almighty's evaporation. On the other side, Lu Mingyue was also in seclusion, trying her best to break through. Lin Xian did not disturb the two. Instead, he chose a place to rest for a while. After all, today's battle with the Holy Son of Thousand Thunder was too dangerous. This time he also experienced the combat power of the Holy Sun, which could be said to be powerful. If he did not have the great dragon sword soul, it would be difficult to defeat the Holy Son of Thousand Thunder. Moreover, it would be very difficult to kill the Holy Son of Thousand Thunder. Not to mention that these Holy Sons had endless secret techniques and magic treasures. They also had terrifying protectors around them. Under normal circumstances, it would be difficult to kill them. However, this time, Lin Xian's results were also very obvious. Firstly, he defeated the Holy Son of Thousand Thunder and gained great fame and honor. Secondly, he obtained the black armor with extremely strong defense, the 10,000-year spiritual liquid that could bring the dead back to life, and the Hell God Spear with powerful attack. These three treasures could be said to be extremely precious. Even the Almighties would be jealous of them. They were enough to improve Lin Xian's combat power and defense. With such treasures, he would have a greater chance of killing the holy daughter of all beginnings. Then Lin Xian formed a seal with his palms and slowly entered a state of cultivation. He wanted to restore all the spiritual power and injuries he had lost today. 3 days later, Lin Xian opened his eyes. His body had reached its peak. After another 10 days, the Crimson Dragon's array was finally completed. On the other side, Lu Mingyue also came out of seclusion. Lu Mingyue was wearing a blue dress. She was as beautiful as a fairy. The aura on her body had become much stronger. Obviously, she had used countless natural treasures during this seclusion, which finally improved her strength again. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon laughed. Great, it's finally completed. He had a set of array in his hand, which flashed with mysterious Tao patterns. Lin Xian and Lu Mingyue also walked over and carefully observed the array. Then Lu Mingyue asked softly, "Can this array really resist the Almighties?" Chapter 1857. To be honest, she didn't quite believe it. After all, the Crimson Shinong was only a 5-star king, while Almighties were extremely powerful. Even the Holy Sun might not be able to contend against them. Could an array formation kill such a powerful existence? Kill Almighties? What are you thinking? The Crimson Dragon rolled his eyes. My formation can contend against Almighties, but it can't kill Almighties. This is a teleportation formation that can forcibly teleport Almighties, and the distance is far enough that they won't be able to fly back in a short time. Think about it. As long as all the Almighties around the Saintess of all beginnings are transferred away, even if those Almighties are still alive, what effect will it have on us? I see. Hearing this, Lu Mingyue heaved a sigh of relief. However, she was still very shocked. One had to know that if Almighties were unwilling to use a teleportation formation, they could directly break through the void and escape. But now, this formation could completely teleport Almighties. It was absolutely shocking. Lin Xian was also delighted, but he still reminded her, "Don't get too excited. We still don't know how many masters and Almighties the other party will bring. But as far as I know, the Saintess of all beginnings must have a path protector. In other words, apart from other Almighties, we must compare the path protector with the other party. Only then can we kill the other party. Otherwise, with the path protector, we won't be able to succeed at all." At this time, Lu Mingyue also said, "Don't worry, there won't be too many Almighties, at most 1 or 2. First of all, Almighties aren't cabbages, and we aren't Almighties. It's too degrading to use Almighties to deal with us. The Saintess of all beginnings won't mobilize so many Almighties for her face." Hearing this, Lin Xian felt a lot more relieved. 1 or 2 Almighties could still be dealt with. As for the other kings, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon had many killing formations, so they could completely deal with them. Then, the 3 of them discussed again and prepared to set up a killing trap. As for the location of the attack, they chose the northern region. In any case, Lin Xian didn't want to run anymore. Moreover, the northern region was far away from the All Beginnings Holy Land. If he really killed the Saintess of all beginnings, it would be easier for them to escape. The northern region was very lively these days because everyone was talking about the 10,000 Thunder Saint Sun. Logically speaking, although the Myriad Thunder Holy Sun was a holy sun, the Myriad Thunder Holy Land was not in the northern region. If they wanted to talk, they would be talking about the 4 symbol saints, the Liang clan's eldest son, or the geniuses of the remote antiquity clans. But why did they have to talk about the 10,000 Thunder Saint? This was because the 10,000 Thunder Saint was very special. Not long ago, he had been defeated by a rogue cultivator. A saint, a prodigy, had actually lost to a wandering cultivator. This was definitely earth-shattering news. That was why everyone was talking about it. Fortunately, the myriad Thunder Saint had already left the northern region. Otherwise, he would have vomited 3 liters of blood after hearing these words. However, it wasn't long before another piece of news came from the Northern Territory, and it caused an uproar. It even overshadowed the 10,000 Thunder Saints' defeat. Have you heard? I recently got a big piece of news. It's really exciting. What big news can be more important than the 10,000 Thunder Saints' defeat? Everyone was puzzled because, in their opinion, the Saints' defeat was already big news. Could there be more terrible news? Did you know that someone is secretly auctioning the Saints' undergarment? What? In the restaurant, those warriors all spat out the wine in their mouths when they heard this. They all widened their eyes as if they had seen a ghost. What did you say? Say it again. To be honest, this matter was really shocking. However, someone said, yes, you didn't hear wrong. Someone is indeed auctioning the Saints' undergarment. The Saints' undergarment? Are you kidding me? Everyone didn't believe it at all. First, the 10,000 Thunder Saint was defeated. Now, someone was auctioning the Saints' undergarment. Were they trying to pull the Saint and Saintess down from their pedestal? The Saint and Saintess were the top prodigies of the younger generation, and their strength was even stronger than that of the older generation. It could be said that they were the most powerful existences below the mighty figures. There were even some powerful saints who were able to contend with mighty figures. But recently there had been negative news about such a powerful, godlike figure. First, the 10,000 Thunder Saint was defeated. Now, the Saint's undergarment was auctioned. However, some people shook their heads in denial. Impossible. Are you kidding me? Who is the Saint of all beginning? Her undergarment is such a private thing. How could it be leaked? It must be fake. Yes, someone must have made it fake. They have ulterior motives and want to frame the Saint of all beginning. What do you know? I saw it with my own eyes. However, the person who spread the news was extremely angry. Not long ago, he had attended a very private small party, and at that party he had seen the Saint's undergarment. At that time, he was so shocked that he spread the news. But now these people in the restaurant didn't believe it. It was really infuriating. You saw it with your own eyes? What does it look like? Also, how can you be so sure that it's the Saint of all beginnings' undergarment and not someone else's? Because I found a very pure and heavy chaotic aura on that undergarment. Only the martial artists of the all-beginning Holy Land have this kind of chaotic aura. Moreover, the aura left on it is too terrifying. It surpasses the aura of an ordinary 6-star king. Which young woman do you think has this kind of chaotic aura? I can't think of a second person besides the Saint of all beginning. What, chaotic aura? Is it really the Saint of all beginning? Hearing the other party's colorful answer, everyone was shocked. They didn't believe it before, but if someone really saw it with their own eyes and it contained a strong chaotic aura, then it might really be the Saint of all beginning's undergarment. But how could the Saint of all beginning lose such a private thing as her undergarment? Some people were still confused. I don't know about this, but I heard another piece of news. It said that the Saint of all beginning had a big battle with someone and was caught. She was even stripped naked, so that undergarment appeared. Heavens! Everyone's scalp went numb. If this matter was true, then it would be a big joke. If no one knew about this matter, then forget it. But if it was spread, then it would be a disaster for the Saint of all beginning and the all-beginning Holy Land. Everyone had often discussed the all-beginning Holy Land before. This was because the Saint of all beginning, Lu Mingyue, had been replaced by another outstanding genius disciple, Zheng Xiu. Chapter 1858. The reason was that Lu Mingyue had been captured in the Tilted Moon mystic world and had even become a maid. That was why he was replaced by another disciple. But he didn't expect such a thing to happen to the newly promoted saintess of all beginnings. It was truly shocking. This news spread like a gust of wind. For a time, the entire northern region was talking about this matter. Moreover, this was not the end. The news continued to spread rapidly throughout the entire eastern wasteland. It wouldn't take long for the entire eastern wilderness to know about this. After all, this matter was too shocking. Regardless of whether it was true or not, this news alone was enough to make everyone go crazy. Because to be able to become a saintess, not only was she powerful, she was also peerlessly beautiful. Such a person was the goddess in everyone's heart. However, he did not expect that there would be someone who wanted to pull the goddess down from her pedestal. Those female disciples were still fine, but those male martial artists seemed to have been injected with chicken blood. They all gathered towards the northern region, wanting to see the legendary saintess undergarment with their own eyes. The All Beginnings holy ground was a peerless holy ground. The disciples of the All Beginnings holy ground traveled all over the eastern wasteland. Therefore, there were naturally disciples in the northern region. When they heard the news, they were furious. They knew how great of an impact this news would have on the All Beginnings holy land and the saintess. Therefore, these people went crazy trying to stop the news. They didn't even hesitate to fight and kill the person who spread the news. However, they couldn't stop it at all because the news had already spread. Even if the entire All Beginnings holy land mobilized, they might not be able to suppress it. That is, unless they killed everyone. But that was impossible. Damn it! Hurry up and report this matter to the Holy Land. The complexions of the All Beginnings Holy Land's cultivators turned gloomy as they quickly passed on the news. The All Beginnings Holy Land was a peerless holy land in the eastern wasteland's southern region. It was incomparably powerful. The meaning of All Beginnings was derived from the beginning of the world, the beginning of all living things. Furthermore, what they cultivated was the primal chaos technique. It could be said that although they had never produced a great emperor, their foundation was still very terrifying. The All Beginnings Holy Land occupied an enormous amount of spirit veins. The scenery inside the sect was breathtaking, and mountains and rivers were everywhere. Strange peaks converged there, steep cliffs towering into the sky. Pine trees were competing with each other on the cliffs. Strange rocks were competing with each other on the strange peaks. Smoke and clouds filled the valleys, and multicolored lights were flowing on the cliffs. The spiritual chi was even denser, as if it was a paradise on earth. On top of a spiritual mountain, a beautiful figure sat cross-legged, bathing in the morning glow and absorbing the spiritual chi of heaven and earth. Around her, streams of chaotic energy circled around her. It was exceptionally mysterious, making her look like a fairy. This mysterious woman was the saint of all beginnings. Her entire being was incomparably ethereal like a fairy. Her slender, jade-like hands were constantly changing seals. It was very obvious that she was cultivating a profound, ultimate divine ability. However, in the next moment, a ray of chaotic light came from afar, streaking across the void like a bolt of lightning. He appeared in front of her in an instant. Then the primal chaos light flickered, and a jade slip appeared on top of it. The saintess of all beginnings opened her eyes when she felt the change in the spiritual power of the void. Stars twinkled in her beautiful eyes. Next, she raised her slender hand and opened the jade slip. Then he used his soul power to sense. But soon, her face turned gloomy. Two beams of sharp light shot out from her eyes and tore the void in front of her apart. Not only that, but the chaotic energy on her body also erupted in an instant, sweeping in all directions and forming a terrifying chaotic domain. At this moment, the saintess of all beginnings no longer had her previous ethereal and elegant appearance. Instead, it was replaced by a thick, murderous aura that soared into the sky. It turned out that the information transmitted by the jade slip was what was happening in the northern region. Who is it? How dare he frame me behind my back? When I find out, I will tear him into pieces. The saintess of all beginnings' expression was cold. The next moment, her figure flickered, and she left the spiritual mountain. In the northern region, the winds and clouds were changing and undercurrents were surging. After the incident of the saintess undergarment, there was news that someone was going to display the undergarment for everyone to see. As soon as this news came out, everyone was shocked and exploded. Up until now, they had only been talking about it and hadn't seen the real undergarment at all. But now, someone was going to take it out to see it. This really made them excited. For a time, everyone was looking forward to it. They all rubbed their fists and prepared to go and see it, because regardless of whether it was real or fake, they would miss it. The cultivators of the All Beginnings holy land in the northern region were all gnashing their teeth. They were also preparing to go and see it. Of course, they weren't going to admire the undergarment, but to investigate this matter. If the saintess undergarment really existed, they would snatch it back at all costs and kill the other party. Moreover, they still had to find out who was behind all this and what was their motive. For a time, the winds and clouds of the northern region changed. Everyone was waiting for the latest news about the saintess undergarment. On the other side, in the city, Lin Xian disguised himself as an ordinary person and blended into the crowd. Seeing the crazy situation in the northern region, the corners of his mouth raised into a sneer. Of course, he was the one who spread the news. This matter was also planned by him, Lu Mingyue and the Crimson Dragon. This was just the beginning. They naturally wanted to attract the saintess of all beginnings. Of course, before that, they had to show the saintess undergarment in their hands. Otherwise, the saintess of all beginnings wouldn't believe them. Whoosh! In the next moment, Lin Xian's body faded and disappeared into the crowd. In a mountain range far away from the city, Lin Xian stood on top of the mountain and looked down. Lu Mingyue and the Crimson Dragon were standing beside him. The three of them didn't come here to admire the scenery. They were preparing to show the saintess undergarment in a few days. Below, the mountain range was continuous and the trees towered into the sky. The peaks were like divine swords that pierced the clouds. Lin Xian looked down and the corners of his mouth rose. I think this place is good. It's suitable for our next operation. The Crimson Dragon nodded repeatedly. There is a spirit vein below. Although it isn't big, it can provide energy for us to arrange the array. In that case, what are we waiting for? Let's hurry up. Lu Mingyue was even more anxious. Okay. Lin Xian smiled. They had searched for many days and finally found a good place. Next, the Crimson Dragon swayed its tail and went down to arrange the array in the mountain range. Lin Xian and the others knew that the saintess of all beginnings couldn't come in such a short time. Even if she came, she wouldn't make a move. Everyone was suspicious that they didn't have the saintess undergarment, so he showed it first. But this time, the saintess of all beginnings wouldn't come. But Lin Xian knew that the experts of the holy land of all beginnings would definitely come. Chapter 1859. This was because they wouldn't allow any negative news about the All Beginnings Holy Land to spread. They would definitely take action when the time came. Therefore, Lin Xian had to make arrangements in advance to prevent the chaos of war when the time came. 5 days passed like this. The Crimson Dragon finished setting up the array. This time, there was a spirit vein underground that could provide a powerful energy source. Therefore, they didn't need too many precious materials to complete the array. There was a transmission array that could allow Lin Xian and the others to escape in a moment of crisis. Even if they encountered an almighty expert, they wouldn't need to worry. There was also a defensive array and an offensive array. In short, it was very comprehensive. It was enough for Lin Xian and the others to deal with it safely. After setting up the array, Lin Xian, Lu Mingyue, and the Crimson Dragon left. They arrived at the nearest city. Inside the city, everyone was talking about the remaining news. They were all guessing who it was that dared to make a move against the All Beginnings Holy Land. Everyone guessed that it was some powerful Holy Land, ancient aristocratic family, or some mysterious power. Of course, they never imagined that the mastermind behind all this would be a single person. Moreover, it was a loose cultivator. They never imagined that a single person would dare to provoke a peerless Holy Land. This was something that they couldn't even dream of. After entering the city, the Crimson Dragon and Lu Mingyue entered the Black Earth. They were too eye-catching. As for Lin Xian, he changed his appearance and turned into an ordinary king. Then he entered the restaurant. He walked to a table near the window and ordered a pot of spirit wine and several exquisite dishes. Then he silently tasted them. The restaurant was very lively. The majority of the cultivators were discussing the matter of the saintess undergarment. Say, who do you think did this? How could they be so daring? Who knows? The All Beginnings Holy Land is so powerful. It must have clashed with many powers over the years. Perhaps it's one of them. I'm not interested in who it is. What I'm interested in is when the exhibition will begin. I can't wait to see that undergarment. That's right. I wonder what happened between that person and the All Beginnings Holy Daughter. He actually managed to obtain the saintess undergarment. He's my idol. I must aspire to be like him. Forget it. You want to have designs on the saintess? Aren't you afraid of being slapped to death? Everyone was discussing and laughing nonstop. Humph. However, at this moment, a cold snort came from downstairs. It was like a thunderclap that echoed throughout the entire space. Hearing this voice, everyone stiffened and felt suffocated. It was as if they had been struck by Thunderlin. Their faces were extremely pale. Lin Xian naturally heard this cold snort and immediately frowned. Naturally, he could sense the terrifying power that came from this cold snort. It was at least a 6-star King Realm expert, and it was very powerful. However, no matter how strong this power was, it had no effect on him. One had to realize that even the Holy Sons couldn't do anything to him, let alone a mere 6-star King tier. He quietly picked up the spirit wine on the table and tasted it while looking at the stairs in front of him, because there was the sound of steady footsteps. Those footsteps were extremely heavy and carried an indescribable rhythm. It was as if a mountain was pressing down on everyone's heart, making it hard for them to breathe. The entire second floor of the restaurant was extremely quiet. Everyone held their breaths and looked at the stairs. Not long after, a figure appeared there. It was a youth. He had a handsome appearance that seemed to have been carved with a knife. He looked confident and at ease, but the light in his eyes made people not dare to underestimate him. Moreover, his expression was extremely gloomy and cold. It even contained a biting, cold-killing intent. Who was talking about the All Beginnings Holy Land just now? The youth asked coldly after arriving on the second floor. His ice-cold gaze was as sharp as a blade as it swept through the surroundings. Sensing this sharp gaze, many people lowered their heads, not daring to look him in the eye. That was because this gaze was too sharp and contained a powerful energy. Moreover, everyone also noticed the All Beginnings Holy Land symbol on his clothes. It was clear that he was a cultivator from the All Beginnings Holy Land. Before an expert from a holy land like this, the majority of people lowered their heads and didn't dare to speak. After all, they didn't dare to provoke him. Seeing that no one was speaking, the youth coldly snorted. The exhibition was simply a joke. The news was planted to frame her. It had never happened before. Yet you all still believe it? I, the All Beginnings Holy Maiden, am as pure as ice and as pure as jade. How could someone steal my undergarment? That's just a bunch of nonsense. Don't let me hear any more discussions about the All Beginnings Holy Maiden. Otherwise, I will kill all of you. This youth was extremely domineering. His words were filled with warning and biting, cold-killing intent. Hearing this, many people trembled. A trace of fear appeared in their eyes. They knew that the All Beginnings Holy Land was about to launch a counterattack. On the other hand, Lin Xian was incomparably calm. He didn't refute this. After all, he would soon hold his first exhibition. However, what surprised him was that he didn't refute this youth. Instead, someone else in the restaurant spoke up to refute him. Just because you say there isn't one, there isn't one? The news has already spread throughout our northern region. Moreover, the exhibition will be held in a few days. There is definitely one. Don't think that just because you're from the All Beginnings Holy Land, you can rely on your powerful cultivation to oppress others. If you have the ability, try oppressing me. This voice was extremely arrogant. He didn't place the All Beginnings Holy Land in his eyes at all. When the others heard this, their eyelids twitched wildly. Which fierce person was this? How could he be so bold as to oppose the All Beginnings Holy Land? Did he not want his life anymore? When the All Beginnings Holy Land's youth heard this, his expression sank. He didn't expect that someone would oppose him in front of his face. This person was truly courting death. In the next instant, he turned his head and stared at the person who had spoken. He coldly asked, "Who are you? Come here and accept your death." As he spoke, 2 rays of primal chaos light shot out from his eyes. They transformed into sharp blades that pierced forward. "You want to attack?" That person howled with laughter. "It seems that your All Beginnings Holy Land has a guilty conscience. What's wrong? You want to silence me?" His voice was like thunder, constantly vibrating. Many people felt their blood boil. A crack appeared in the void, directly swallowing the 2 rays of primal chaos light. What? He actually blocked it. Everyone was startled. The All Beginnings Holy Land youth also furrowed his brows. The other party's strength was actually not his. This truly surprised him. At this moment, he finally faced the other party head-on. The surrounding cultivators also cried out in alarm. For Symbol's holy lands, they discovered that the one who had spoken was a tall youth. His figure was tall and sturdy, like a humanoid monster. In the northern region, only the 4 Symbol's sacred grounds possessed such a person and such terrifying strength. It was no wonder that the other party was so arrogant and didn't place the All Beginnings Holy Land in his eyes. It turned out that he was a cultivator from the 4 Symbol's holy lands. Chapter 1860. The 4 Symbol's holy lands were also peerless holy lands. Moreover, their headquarters were in the northern region. They could be said to be the overlord of this region. Thus, they naturally wouldn't fear the All Beginnings Holy Land. Moreover, although these holy lands had connections with each other and had mutual benefits, fundamentally speaking, they were still competitors. This was especially true for their holy sons and holy daughters. The competition was even more intense. Everyone wanted to suppress the others. Now that such a thing had happened to the All Beginnings Holy Daughter, the cultivators of the 4 Symbols' holy lands naturally wanted to step on them. 4 Symbols' holy lands, could it be that you want to start a war with my All Beginnings Holy Land? The youth's voice was ice cold. He had naturally discovered that the other party was from the 4 Symbols' holy lands. Stop pretending. Who are you? Do you think that I can make 2 holy lands start a war just because I refuted you? What a joke. The tall and sturdy youth had a disdainful expression. Although his limbs were well developed, his brain wasn't simple at all. He sneered and said, "There is no need to use holy lands to scare me. We are all disciples of holy lands. The strength behind us is similar. If you want to suppress me, then bring out your true ability. However, I advise you not to make a move. Firstly, it is impossible for you to defeat me. Secondly, whether the matter of the Holy Daughter's undergarment is true or not, you will know when you visit it in a few days." What exhibition? It has been spreading for so long, but there is still no specific location. This is a lie from the start. Only an idiot like you would believe it. The youth from the All Beginnings, Holy Land, sneered. He naturally wouldn't admit that their holy daughter had really lost her undergarment. After being called an idiot, the cultivator from the four symbols, Holy Lands, flew into a rage. In the next instant, he forcefully splashed the spirit wine in his wine cup. Hua! Although it was just a cup of spirit wine, it became a terrifying killing weapon in the hands of the tall and sturdy youth. The water droplets that filled the sky turned into sharp, hidden weapons that pierced through the void and flew toward the gloomy youth. Humph! Seeing the other party attack, the youth from the All Beginnings, Holy Land, was enraged. He naturally didn't fear the other party. In the next instant, he coldly snorted and waved his hand. The primal chaos energy on his body rapidly surged, forming a primal chaos shield that blocked in front of him. Boom! Boom! In the next instant, the two sides collided, creating an intense collision. Fortunately, this was not an ordinary restaurant. There was a defensive array formation, and the energy was quickly transferred. This caused the energy to surge into the sky. Otherwise, this attack would have blasted the entire restaurant into pieces. The manager of the restaurant was infuriated and rushed down. He wanted to see who dared to make a move here. However, when he saw that it was the disciples of the two Holy Lands who were fighting, he immediately calmed down, especially since one of them was from the Wanchu Holy Land. Now that the news of the 10,000 exits Holy Land was spreading everywhere, these people were definitely in a bad mood. They might even go berserk immediately. He didn't want to provoke the people of the Holy Land, so he could only pretend that he didn't see anything. However, the owner of the restaurant still secretly activated the array formation to prevent the restaurant from being destroyed. As long as the restaurant was fine, the others could do whatever they wanted. In any case, he wouldn't lose a single cent. The warriors in the restaurant were even more shocked. They even had the urge to run away. That was because the aura these two people exuded was too terrifying. They couldn't mature at all. At this moment, a delicate laugh came from downstairs. Then, a figure walked up the stairs. It was a woman wearing a light green dress with a crescent moon embroidered on her sleeves. Silver threads drew out a few auspicious clouds, as if a bright moon had emerged from the sea of clouds. Her chest was wrapped in a light yellow brocade. Her body turned gently, and the long dress spread out. Her every movement was graceful, like a willow tree swaying in the wind. Moon-worshipping cult. Everyone exclaimed when they saw the crescent moon on the woman's sleeves. Lin Xian also frowned and looked up, but the next moment he shook his head slightly. Originally, he thought it was the moon-worshipping saintess who had come. He didn't expect it to be another disciple of the moon-worshipping cult. Although she wasn't the saintess, the aura exuding from this woman was extremely terrifying. Come to think of it, he should also be a prodigy. As soon as the woman went upstairs, she said with a smile, "The saintess of all beginnings is too careless. How can she give such a private thing to someone else? It can't be that that person is her lover, right?" Hearing this, everyone's scalp went numb. They didn't expect the moon-worshipping cult to get involved in this mess. After hearing this, the Four Symbols Holy Land cultivator also laughed. "That's a good idea. Everyone thinks that the saintess of all beginnings lost her undergarment because she was defeated and snatched by someone. But there might be another possibility. She might have given it to her lover. Your all beginnings Holy Land is really something. Do you have any other beautiful junior sisters? Why don't you introduce one to me?" The Four Symbols Holy Land cultivator laughed wildly. He didn't place the All Beginnings Holy Land in his eyes at all. As for the All Beginnings Holy Land cultivator, he gnashed his teeth in anger. He coldly stared at the beautiful woman and asked with clenched teeth, "Who are you?" "Hurry up and scram. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. I am Hualien. I came here to eat. What does it have to do with you? Why are the tempers of the people of the All Beginnings Holy Land so bad? It's no wonder that female disciple is looking for other lovers. It seems that you should look for the reason on yourselves first. Otherwise, you won't know which junior sister's undergarment was given to someone else. You are courting death. The All Beginnings Holy Land cultivator was furious and was about to attack. But right at this time, footsteps echoed from downstairs. Soon after, a powerful aura rushed over. Not long after, a majestic figure appeared. A resplendent radiance revolved around his body. It was different from the light of primal chaos. Instead, it was a different kind of five-colored radiance. 5 Elements sect. Everyone cried out in alarm. They didn't expect that a genius disciple of the 5 Elements sect would also appear here. It seemed that the matter of the northern region's undergarment had shaken the entire eastern desolate region. More and more peerless holy lands and unrivaled great sects had come to the northern region. It turned out to be brother-son of the 5 Elements sect. The moon-worshipping cult's Hualien smiled when she saw the handsome youth. As for son Hao of the 5 Elements sect, he looked around and indifferently said, I didn't expect this place to be so lively. It seems that I've come to the right place. Hualien smiled and said, Brother son, I believe that we all came here to admire the undergarment of the saintess. How about we all sit together, drink a cup, and chat? Okay. Sun Hao nodded. Then he walked over with Hualien and slowly sat down. The All Beginnings Holy Lands youth, Fan Hengfei, gnashed his teeth and said, What exhibition? I'll say it again. There is no such thing. That's not necessarily true. I heard that the exhibition will be held in 2 days. Moreover, the location has already been chosen. It's the cold flying mountain in the north of the city. At this time, Lin Xian spoke. Chapter 1861. At this time, Lin Xian spoke. He felt that it was about time to spread the news. What? It will begin in 2 days. The location is Cold Flying Mountain. Everyone was in an uproar when they heard this news. They didn't think that there would really be an exhibition. Moreover, it would begin in 2 days. This was just too shocking. Even Sun, Hao, and Hualien were shocked. Hualien, Er's eyes shifted and she looked at Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian had already changed his appearance and aura, becoming extremely ordinary. Therefore, the other party couldn't see any flaws. Little brother, may I ask where you obtained this news? Is it true? I just came out from the mountains and heard others say this. Looking at the clothes of those people, they should also be disciples of the Holy Lands. It shouldn't be wrong. Everyone became excited when they heard this. Could there really be a saintess undergarment on display? This was too exciting. The cultivators of the 4 symbols, Holy Lands, laughed. Who cared if it was true or not? They would know once they went to Cold Flying Mountain in 2 days. Everyone was moved. As for the All Beginnings Holy Lands disciple, Fan Hengfei, he was gnashing his teeth. He didn't think that even the time and location would be fabricated. This was too hateful. In the next moment, he turned around and glared at Lin Xian, killing intent surging in his eyes. Brat, I already warned you before. If you dare to spread this news again and slander my All Beginnings Holy Land, I will kill you with my own hands. Since you don't know what's good for you, don't blame me for being impolite. Hearing this, everyone's hearts jumped. It seemed that the other party was going to forcefully attack. Would the person who spread the news be able to resist? The surrounding cultivators were worried. As for Hualien and Sun Hao, they looked as if they were watching a play. They didn't want to help Lin Xian, because an ordinary king wasn't worthy of their attention. Lin Xian's expression was calm. He indifferently said, When did the All Beginnings Holy Land become so overbearing? You don't even allow others to speak? Deceiving the masses with your lies. Of course, I have the right to kill you. Fan Hengfei snorted coldly, the aura on his body becoming more and more terrifying. Is that so? If you want to kill me, let's see if you have the ability to do so. Lin Xian's face was calm without any fear. Humph, you're courting death. Fan Hengfei was really angry. How dare a small rogue cultivator be so arrogant in front of him? He really didn't know what death was. He could not kill the people from the four symbols sacred grounds and the moon worshipping cult in a short period of time. However, this was just a mere rogue cultivator, a little king of unknown origins. Killing him would be as easy as flipping his hand. In the next moment, he directly made his move. He raised his palm and pressed forward. The terrifying palm blossomed with radiance. It was surrounded by chaotic light, as if it was the hand of the heavens. As soon as this palm appeared, the eyelids of everyone in the hall twitched violently. Their hearts were in turmoil, and they felt a sense of suffocation. Because this palm was too terrifying, they were unable to resist at all. Even Hualien, Sun Hao, and the others frowned. They had to admit that the other party was indeed powerful. Looking at this terrifying palm, Lin Xian's expression was calm. In the next moment, he waved his sleeve, and the spiritual energy in the sky surged, forming a divine bridge that flew upward. The divine bridge was dazzling, and it was covered with runes. It was like a divine bridge that led to the heavens, and it carried with it a supreme aura. In the blink of an eye, it blocked the astonishing, chaotic palm. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. That was because that chaotic palm was extremely terrifying. Even a 6-star king would find it difficult to resist it. However, this ordinary youth in front of them was actually able to block it. It was really inconceivable. Moreover, looking at the other party's appearance, he seemed to be able to block it so easily. This shocked them even more. Humph! Fan Hengfei's face became gloomy when he saw that the other party was able to resist him. He didn't expect that he had made an error of judgment. However, so what? No matter what, he would kill the other party today as a warning to others. He wanted to let everyone know the consequences of provoking the all beginnings sacred ground. In the next moment, the chaotic energy in his body surged, and the chaotic palm became even more dazzling. Then, it ruthlessly slammed toward the divine bridge. However, that divine bridge was really too mysterious. It was like a bridge that led to the heavens, and it emitted a supreme might. It rapidly descended, and it crushed the void. In the end, Fan Hengfei had no choice but to support it with his hands. He didn't dare to believe this. However, what shocked him even more was that the power contained within the divine bridge was incomparably terrifying. Even if he supported it with his hands, he couldn't maintain it for too long. At this moment, his arms were already numb, and his muscles were starting to tremble. It was as if what he was supporting wasn't a divine bridge, but 100,000 mountains. It was abnormally heavy. He actually managed to block it? Not bad, not bad. Lin Xian was also surprised. He didn't expect that the other party would be able to resist it for so long. It was indeed surprising. In the next moment, he waved his sleeve again, and even more spiritual energy gathered on the divine bridge. Buzz! Immediately, the divine bridge became even more dazzling. The runes on it flickered unceasingly, and it looked incomparably mysterious. Fan Hengfei's face was incomparably red, and his hands were bent. He was simply unable to withstand this power. Crack! Crack! The clothes on his sleeve shattered, and they fluttered about like butterflies. Not only that, but the tables and chairs around him also cracked and turned into powder. Crack! Cracks appeared on the ground beneath his feet, and it looked like it would collapse at any moment. This scene shocked everyone. That was because the tables and chairs on the ground had been reinforced by a formation and were extremely sturdy. Even ordinary kings wouldn't be able to break them. But now they had completely shattered. Even the ground had cracked. One could imagine how terrifying the power the other party was withstanding was. What was even more shocking was that the divine bridge had bent the other party's arms, and it looked like it was about to envelop him. Scram! Fan Hengfei's eyes were bloodshot as he roared. Then his body blossomed with boundless multicolored light. A resplendent beam of light rapidly flew out like a bolt of lightning and bombarded the rainbow bridge. What a terrifying, primal, chaos light! Seeing this scene, Hualien, and Sun Hao frowned. On the other side, the four symbols' Holy Lands cultivators also had solemn expressions. They weren't unfamiliar with the primal chaos light. Just like the primal chaos chi, it was an ultimate divine ability of the All-Beginnings' Holy Land. The primal chaos light was extremely terrifying. It was said that when cultivated to the extreme, it could split the heavens and earth. It was extremely terrifying. The primal chaos light bombarded the divine bridge, causing it to slow down. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Fan Hengfei's figure flickered, and he retreated to a safe distance. Then his eyes were filled with killing intent as he stubbornly stared at Lin Xian. "Damn it, who the hell are you?" He was simply too shocked. The other party's methods were too terrifying, and he had nearly been injured. Someone who could threaten him was definitely not an ordinary person. At the very least, the other party was a disciple of a holy land or an ancient family. However, he had never seen the other party before. Moreover, the other party looked very ordinary, and he couldn't see through the other party's aura. There was also no symbol of any family or sect on the other party's clothes. Therefore, he was very suspicious of the other party's identity. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.